Hello, 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 my beautiful, beautiful souls. Welcome to your reading. And, if you ended up clicking on this video, we're going to be diving into specifically whether or not you are ready for the love that you say you want. I normally don't do a lot of love-based readings in my YouTube channel, but I did feel the pull and the urge to do one for the month of February because we all know that Valentine's Day is during this month. But what's really interesting, during the month of February, the day that I ended up recording this and felt called to upload this video, that's a time of darkness outside and stillness and surrendering to go within. So I see this as an opportunity for us to really explore today together if really the love that you say you want is something that you are deserving of, and that if not, we're going to find out what's blocking you from fully receiving it together. So I did just want to say before I dive in, as you can see, I have this weird thing on my hand. I had to get like a little operation done and something removed from my hand. So, it's healed enough where I am able to shuffle cards, but my hand's gonna look pretty nasty today. So I'm really sorry about that. If the aesthetic isn't pleasing to you, my bad. I can't really control it. And when it comes to the way that we're breaking down this reading, just so I don't have to run through this 1,000 times, we're going to be diving into specifically 4 different questions today. Obviously, at the very end, we're going to see the final messages from Source and your higher self, but I always do that in my readings. But when it comes to these 4 questions, we're going to be looking at first, what kind of love does your heart actually want? So we're going to be seeing what your heart deeply and truly desires, okay? And then secondly, are you ready to receive that love? Yes or no? We're going to see that. Thirdly, we're going to see what's blocking you from fully receiving it, depending on what that answer is and what we unravel there in the second section. And then fourthly, what do you have to do to receive the love that your heart deeply desires, receive the love that is meant for you at this time, that, you want, your soul wants, it's craving for you. So with that, and now that we got that out of the way, I do highly encourage you guys to take a moment to breathe and center yourselves before selecting the card that you feel most drawn towards. The reason why I say this is usually most of the time we will pick things based from a state of anxiety, and then normally it'll take us somewhere where it's showing us a truth, right? The pile that we pick leads us to a certain truth, but maybe it's not the truth that's aligned with what your soul and your higher self is trying to tell you. So, making sure that you're in a centered enough state, a grounded enough state before selecting your pile is going to help you ensure that you're picking from heart and truth and alignment, and not from insecurity, scarcity mindset, and anxiety, fear-based thinking, okay? With that being said, pause the video if you feel called to, and if not, I will meet you at your part of the video, with this card being for pile number 1, this card being for pile number 2, and this one being for pile number 3. All right? So again, I will leave you here, and I'll meet you at your portion of the video. Hello, 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 my beautiful pile number 1s. If this is the card that aided you in being able to select this pile, the card that is actually the number 1 that says beyond death, life, then you already know that this reading is for you in reference to whether or not you are truly and genuinely ready for the love that you say you want. So when it comes to this card and the cards that I use to help me for the significator cards, the cards that helped you select your pile, I ended up choosing my deck, the Rumi Oracle deck. So this card that helped you select the pile is actually a poem that we're going to be reading really quickly to gain and kind of extract some more information from. So let us take a moment to look. But just before we actually go there, I do want to say the fact that you guys ended up receiving the very first card of the deck, the number 1, and then beyond death, life. This is instantly showing me that when it comes to the love that you're seeking, pile number 1, there's a desire for more lightness, more of like hope energy. Maybe you're looking for a love that makes you feel alive again, something that lights you up or brings the spark back in you. And not to say that you need this relation, you need love, quote unquote, with somebody else to give you this spark. It's that you're looking for someone or something when it comes to this love that you're seeking that keeps the spark there. It doesn't dim it, it doesn't shatter it, it doesn't throw it off, and it doesn't confuse it or overpower it. That's another good way. But it's exciting. There's playful energy here and very new. Like, I don't know if it's something that you're looking to have, like, I'm hearing refreshing, like a refreshing taste. I don't know what that means. Like, you want to reset in the love life department. And what I mean by that is a reset. Maybe you've had like a history of just like not the best connections and relationships, okay? And they didn't last for specific reasons. And now it's like you're kind of just sick of like some sort of cycle and you're looking for something new and refreshing. I know I feel like I just said the most generic thing that might align with a lot of people, but I'm just telling you straight up what I am picking up in the cards. Obviously, we're going to be a lot more in depth and more detailed and specific as we continue on to the reading. So let's keep going and see what this poem has to say. So here we go with Beyond Death, Life. Footprints lead to the shore of the sea. Beyond that point, no trace remains. I am calling to you. Can you hear me? Listen. With your heart, there I speak. My voice rings true. You are urged beyond what has been. The time has come, lay it to rest now. This ending comes as grace to free you from all that you have known, for what you have known is now too small for your soul. Bear your uncertainty with equanimity. I am certain enough for both of us. Allow me to show you the light that you are, that burns within you, blazing angel of heavenly purity. I will unveil you to yourself, undressing your ego, casting aside its layers, as tender as a lover, with unwavering attention upon the sacred body of light. You shall know yourself in truth, as pure beyond all experience, untainted, ever innocent, as a pure vessel stripped bare, ready for the divine revelation, as light, as life, as love. Let us see. Okay, I feel called to go here. So here you are, an old soul at the edge of something you have known, at the cusp of an ending and a beginning. Perhaps you are already in surrender and falling in, or perhaps you are fearful and resisting as you greet your unknown destiny. Yet this moment is happening because your own divine soul has chosen for it to be this way, so that love may grow. There is no punishment in this ending, nor is there anything to fear. There may be pain, there may be grief and loss, there may be uncertainty and even insecurity, yet you have a heart big enough to bear such growing pains. Your heart is even big enough to receive the joy that is lying in wait for you as you stumble across her in the course of your clumsy inspired travails into new life. You can scoop her up in your arms and spin her wildly about as she delights in your embrace, throwing her head back and laughing her vibrant, contagious laughter, filling you with exquisite ecstasy. Yes, you shall know the truth, the knowledge of the divine is with you, guiding every unfolding moment of your life journey. No matter how dark it may first appear, the divine is with you in unflinching generosity, with compassion and with fierce passion for your blossoming into all that you are, all that you can be. Okay, I know that was a lot, guys, but it feels like to me there is transformation here, right? And the thing that I think I was missing in my summary before, but reading that kind of reminded me of it, was freedom. So I was talking about like lightness. When I meant light, I wasn't talking about weight wise, like light and heavy. I was talking about like light as in like pure light versus dark, like light, like from the sun, light, warmth. And then now I'm understanding that you're craving something that makes you feel free. So let us take a look at the rest of the cards. I'm very, very curious to see where this is going to take us. I already did do the honors of shuffling and prepping up for the first section of this reading just so we can get right into it. So, before we start, please make sure that you do have something to take notes with. My readings do tend to be very, very long, okay? And buckle up for a ride. Make sure that you feel safe enough to be listening to this in the space that you're listening to it in, okay? And just a trigger warning in case we do happen to come up any sensitive topics of discussion, okay? Send you guys all my love. Let's get into this. So we did end up getting one of my rune cards and then ask your guides cards. And then we also did get, I did already do this, a lot of shuffling with my transparent tarot deck, which we're also going to be using for this portion of the reading. So for the back of the deck here, I want to share this with you. I know it seems like a lot, but what I'm seeing here that stands out to me the most is the energy of the Six of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Sun card, and Strength. I know it looks like a lot. It might be hard to see, but I'm picturing it, okay? So I just need you to trust. This is showing to me that you, like, there's something here that you know for certainty that you're craving more of. When it comes to what kind of love does your heart actually want. But you still can't put your, like, a pin in it exactly. Like, you can't pinpoint it just yet. Maybe this might actually be another indicator as well that there is an opportunity coming up, or there has been one and you're just not sure if you should go for it, if it's worth your time. But I also feel like the reason why you're feeling that way is because you've been bruised, okay, like in the past before. So you're just trying to make sure that this is worth it, or whatever it is you're trying to figure out, whatever led you to clicking into this video, right? The title is, Are You Ready for the Love You Say You Want? Whatever that was, pile number one, that intuitive ping that you felt that was like, I need to listen to this reading now. What brought you here was an uncertainty energy. I feel like there's something you're still trying to decide right now, and it overwhelms you a lot because you're not sure how to move about it or get it, or not get it, but move through your journey right now, I guess you can say, to attain it. So you are in the right place. And the cards that we did receive is the Jedi rune. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. With the keywords being, the results of earlier efforts are realized, a time of peace and happiness, fruitful season. It can break through stagnancy. Hopes and expectations of peace and prosperity. Jera rune. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're craving this feeling. Oh, look. And then we have deceit with guardian angels with the number 27 here hidden. There has been trust issues in the past when it comes to love. Pile number one. And the love that your heart wants for you is something that is safe. Something that feels like you can breathe finally. Or it just feels like relief, like a weight that can be like thrown off your shoulders for good now. Like that's something that your heart's really craving. And it wants to show you or like prove to you that not all people are this way or X way, fill in the blank as you wish, as it makes sense to your situation. But you still fight it a little bit because of the fears, and that's completely understandable. And I actually feel like sometimes you fight yourself on whether or not you want love. Like maybe you say like, I don't need no one, I don't care, this and that. You say it out loud a lot, but it's like deep down you feel something else. Like there's something here where you might have been lying to yourself a little bit, and that's also been getting in the way of this thing that you're seeking. So let us take a look and continue to plug things in even further. So we did end up getting 13 cards in total, and this ended up wanting to be the significator card. That's going to kind of give us the theme that's going to be influencing the rest of the cards we're going to look at right now, which is the Knight of Wands over here. Okay, so we're going to be doing a pairing of 3 cards layered on top of each other in a row of 4. Okay, hopefully that made sense. So let us start, and I do feel called to pull a card out here. I actually want these 3 to be paired together. All right. So the first pairing we have here is the, oh wow, okay. This is crazy. This is crazy, and I'm about to tell you. So we have the 2 of Cups with the 7 of Cups and Temperance. The reason why I'm saying this is crazy is because I was studying this number. That's why I kind of paused. I don't know if you noticed I paused. Again, I'm sorry about the nasty hand. It's the stitches I have here. I got to keep them safe. The number 27 kept standing out to me, and I was like trying to decide, like, do I want to combine them or do I want to see the number 2 and 7 as separate things? That wanted to be separate. I always combine my numbers when I dive into my readings here on my videos.
So that was really intriguing. But then the fact that you got the 2 of Cups and the 7 of Cups starting together, right? No other elements, and then a major arcana on top of it, which is Temperance. This is adding confirmation that what I sensed was accurate. 2 and 7 are meant to be separate energies, but together in the situation. So we'll start here. We're looking, give me a sec, because I want to keep going before I start sharing. I just wanted to share that crazy thing that came through. Oh, these are backwards now. Let me just make sure. Okay. So next up we have the 9 of Cups. Oh, that wasn't the Sun card then. Interesting. We have the Sun card here. Okay. And then we have the 10 of Wands. Okay. This is getting very interesting. Next up, pile number 1, we have the Hierophant coming through for the 3rd row, 3rd section of cards. The 7 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. And then the last pairing of cards we have here is the King of Cups, the 6 of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. There's got to be a reason why I thought the Sun card was also in the back of the deck. So it just seems like you're going to learn something new about yourself in this reading. It's going to bring a lot of clarity and illuminate something that you've been trying to figure out for a while when it comes to your love life, pile number 1. I just want to make that very clear. All right. So again, 2 of Cups, 7 of Cups, Temperance. 9 of Cups, the Sun, and the 10 of Wands. The Hierophant, the 7 of Swords, and the 5 of Wands. The King of Cups, the 6 of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. In reference to, and then we also have Deceit, right? So the 7 of Swords already came up. And then the Jera rune. The results of earlier efforts are realized, a time of peace and happiness. It can break through stagnancy, hopes and expectations of peace and prosperity. The Knight of Wands is the significator energy influencing all of this. The kind of love that your heart actually wants is something that gives you a thrill, but it's a thrill that feels safe. It's like an adventure that you willingly choose to sign up for and that you feel like fun participating in. I feel like you've had experiences in your life with people, not just like in love life, but with just people, like maybe like close friends or like siblings. I don't know, someone that was close to you. You may have had moments or just past experiences where it was a crazy ride, like a roller coaster of things, right? And maybe there were moments where you didn't really know what you were gonna get, or they weren't able to fully follow through on things. So now you develop this need to like control things a lot, over plan, overcompensate by picking up more of the slack that the other person wouldn't do or sucked at doing. And it always made things feel very unequal and exhausting. And even though like there were really good highs when the moments were like on the up, when it was on the down, it was not enjoyable one bit, and you really felt that weight on your shoulders. When it comes to the love that your heart's wanting for you, pile number 1, it's the complete opposite of the past experiences that I just shared. There's something here where 2 and 7 is really standing out. And when I think about that, I think about the number 7 in the 7th house, and I also think about spiritual growth because that's what the number 7 is about as well. And then when I think about the number 2, I think about mirroring energy. And then with the Jera rune, that adds more emphasis there. But it's a mirroring in a way where 2 people are not exactly alike, but they are alike just enough, maybe in shared values or like certain end goals you might have in your life. Like there's something there that is shared enough to keep the commitment going. And there's a good harmony and balance between the things that you would share with the love that your heart desires versus the things that you don't share in common, or maybe certain personality traits, characteristics, you know? And that combination gives you the perfect mix for like self-growth moments in the type of love that your heart's desiring for you versus moments to like breathe and like just take a friggin' break. Because it feels like your nervous system really needs that. You need someone that is reliable for certain things, like specific experiences. I don't know what that means. That's, I guess maybe that'll come back if it's important. moving forward, you have a very strong head on your shoulders. And some people take it the wrong way, and I don't know why. I don't know if you've ever had like this weird streak of people where there's like jealousy, or you always felt like there were eyes on you, but like not for the right reasons, or you always felt like you had like the evil eye, quote unquote, on you. But it's not like you asked for it. You didn't do something to make that happen. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't like, it just feels like you don't deserve whatever this weird feeling was, and maybe you've dealt with this in the past with people. But because of that, that shows to me that you are a light. Truly, pile number one. This come through in the poem itself, but it's coming through here again. And the fact that I saw the sun in the back of the deck as well, I thought it was there. You know, there is a lot of illumination where you go, and not a lot of people can handle you. I'm going to be very straight up. And the reason why I say that is because your heart has so much to give. It loves to give with the right people. I'm going to make that very clear. You're very picky. But when it likes to give, and when it finds the right person to give the love to and the light, and may I even say the healing, because you really do help people step out of their comfort zones. The people that you care about, like you do, like you're a good, like, what's the word? A hype me up buddy. You like to try to cheer people up. You don't like seeing the people you care about upset. But it does feel like that's a lot of weight that you do put on your shoulders to be that person. And your heart wants somebody where you don't have to like constantly perform who you are to feel accepted or seen or loved or acknowledged for your importance. Like, you've always had to show that, to quote unquote prove it, or you felt this excessive need to, and your heart wants to lay that wound to rest because it doesn't need to be here anymore. It never really did, but it did come from, I don't know if it's like a generational belief system. It's like a trauma thing that became this need to constantly please or show up in a certain manner to be seen by the majority. I don't know if that makes sense. Or to finally just feel seen in general. Like, you feel like you had to always do something, put on a certain face. That doesn't want to be here when it comes to the love that your heart really wants for you, truly wants for you, your heart and soul. This type of love that it wants something where they can like lead your survival mode that you've constantly been on to calmer waters. There is a giant need for more groundedness and stability in your life, and that's the kind of love your heart is just really, really asking for. But it's not so grounded to the point where you feel like your light is getting weighed down. There is lightness here, and there is playful energy here, and like I said, there's equality and like the give and take of that energy. Like, there's gonna be moments when you go through your high of like emotions where when you get to your low, like you want to be met with like love and acceptance and someone to just like fully receive you as that unapologetically. You don't want to feel like you have to hide behind certain masks or facades, and your heart wants the same thing for you. It's just hard. You are also your own worst enemy, biggest enemy when it comes to these things, because it's like when you try to find the right love that your heart wants, like you try to listen to what your soul wants for you, you think you're gonna get it just by being mad. I don't know why that's coming through. Sorry if that is triggering to some people. You might feel like I'm calling you out, but remember, I am just the messenger, okay? So I am kind of curious though to see where that takes us. Why do you get mad? I'm debating if I want to go straight in there or not, because I have a system, but I'm gonna do this. Okay, so this deck was actually meant for the third question, which is what's blocking you from fully receiving it. We haven't even checked if you're ready to receive it yet, but I do want to see what this anger thing is coming through is. So I'm going to be taking out a card from my shadow work deck. Let me see. So why is there so much anger? Like, why do they use the anger? Neglect. Lend to your inner garden and it will flourish. Disregard, overlook, forgetfulness. Distrust. Well, weren't we just talking about trust issues, right? Distrust, faith in oneself can rebuild trust in others. Suspicion, doubt, and mistrust. Okay. The anger is because of the distrust. And for some reason you think that by staying angry and being angry, you're going to be able to find it. But the anger means that there's something that isn't being looked at deep down, pile number one, that you're not looking at for yourself, that you are not validating for yourself. And the love that your heart wants doesn't mean that this is a love from somebody else that you're supposed to receive so that you can finally feel accepted and seen. You're supposed to give that to yourself. No love on the planet of Earth is meant to do that for you. You're meant to heal yourself. There's no savior. And this person that your heart wants for you, I don't see a savior. I see somebody that sees you for exactly as you are and accepts all of it. The positive, the negative, the things that we label, right? It's just what makes a human whole. They accept it. And in order to let that in, you got to let the guard down. Rage doesn't bring that in. It shows the frequency. It shows to the world that you still have things to heal and that you still have things bottled up from the past, residual energy, ick, that is going to block it, you know? So that wanted to come through really randomly the way it did. So I'm going to just keep the card out. And what we're going to do now is, I guess, get a more straight up answer if you are ready to receive this love that your heart desires for you. We're actually going to just layer things on. We're going to be using my What is the Vibe deck, my love cards. We're going to be pulling out a card from my, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Into It Tarot or something. And so it shows you like upright and reversal meanings, and then there's like some bonus cards. So we're going to be getting a significator out here to give us a straight up yes or no, and then we're going to understand like the why of the yes or no with my Before Tarot, okay? So give me one moment. I'm just going to shuffle and get all the cards out, and then I will meet you back here, okay? Give me a moment. All right, guys, so I am back and I got all the cards shuffled. It's really, really interesting what came through. So we actually ended up getting the significator energy card come up sideways. And it was the Ace of Swords, so that's showing to me that both the upright and the reversal meanings of this card are truth, and they're reflecting what is going on in terms of the answer. So this is where things get interesting. I was expecting to do yes or no things, but look at what this card says. Okay, we're going to take a look together. So for the Ace of Swords upright, awareness and insight, epiphany, clarity, force, decisive, communicate, ideas, compel, focus, truth, and vision. Reverse, a lack of ideas, reevaluate, misinformation, blocked communication, clouded judgment, redirect, hostility. This came in sideways, okay? Straight up, the answer. You can right now if you wanted it. Like if you opened up your mind and your heart, yes, but only the if. Only if you do that. Only if you start to detach yourself from this narrative that you keep feeding into your mind. This narrative, I told you, it has to do with like some sort of childhood trauma or thing that came, like generational truth. It's been passed down, sort of. It's not your truth anymore. Some of you guys might have been raised with parents that got divorced, and it was a really ugly divorce. Or you're with a single parent and the other parent's not in the picture, or they're not there as much. There's a lot of different ways that my brain can see this, the way I'm channeling it. Or maybe they're still together and they're fighting a lot. There's something here where the image of love is hard and you see it as that. It's a burden and it's exhausting, and you have this idea that like there's not a lot of good people out there or good fish in the sea that's actually worth it, that can actually give you the things that you desire, which is trust, communication, a lot of different things. But I'm hearing mirror. Ask yourself, do you have good communication? Do you know how to communicate if there is an argument in the middle of a connection? Ask yourself, look back on your friendships, look back on the connections where there may have been moments of quarrel. Did you handle it well? Were you able to regulate yourself in that moment? Or was there yelling? Was there explosiveness? Was there door slams in each other's faces? Was there blocking each other's numbers? There's something here that has like an explosive energy to it that I want to be brutally honest about. And I feel like it was passed down, or like it's something that your nervous system does to cope with how it's really feeling. And it still feels like it's in danger or it needs to be afraid. it doesn't think you have your own back right now. And in terms of whether you are ready to receive the love that your heart wants, I'm telling you, it's a maybe. You can 100%, you are 100% capable of this. But the thing is that you need to let the hostility down. You need to let the guard down. You need to let the fears pass by through acknowledging them, witnessing them, observing them, and let them pass by. Because you're running away from them. You're not looking at them. You're avoiding them. And then that leads to outbursts, that leads to like impulsive, reckless reactions to things because you're not letting your mind like kind of process how you're feeling. You're just letting the feeling be there and then like make it something to a reason to fight more. I don't know if that makes sense. It just feels like there's someone that needs to breathe. But let's get some more insight. Okay, so we did get a love oracle card and then what's the vibe card. And this is going to help us understand your answer even more. Okay, so, sorry, that was bothering me. We have the dragonfly. Be lighthearted, finding out things coming to light, adapt, change, and heal. And then you also received, oh wow, suffering in silence, unspoken desires, real feelings, broken dreams. There we go, that's your why. And then I know why we have temperance. Your heart desires someone that can hold space for these emotions while you move through them, because pile number one, the maybe, it's a maybe. You can receive this love that your heart wants for you. But the thing and the reason why it's a maybe is only if you are willing to speak up and stop suffering in silence. Because the more you suffer in silence, the more that it leads to like explosion and chaos down the road for you and your physical. Your inner world reflects your outer world. You have to remember that. And it might sound like a broken track record because I say that all the time on my channel, guys, but it's like I feel like I have to keep reminding you. And the why. Why do you have to do this to get it, right? The reason why I'm saying this, we're going to look at the before tarot to give you the why even more. So for the back of the deck energy, we did get the Three of Pentacles. And underneath the Three of Pentacles, I like to do this with back of the deck energies, we also got the Ace of Swords along with Temperance and the Ace of Wands and the Three of Wands. And then what this is, the Seven of Wands. Oh, wow. Okay, I like the symbolism here. So why? Because pile number one, you are meant to know your truth. And you know the truth. I feel like you have been kind of circling the drain, debating on whether or not this is a can of worms that you want to open. But the truth of the matter is that if you don't explore it, then the more lack of self-awareness of it, and then the more avoidant tendencies that you're going to do, the more self-sabotaging tendencies and behaviors you're going to do, and the more of a deeper hole you're going to dig yourself into, so that you're going to feel like you keep attracting, quote unquote, the same people in your love life, right? You're like, why does this keep happening? This is why. Because you haven't looked in your inner world yet to ask why. Is this keep happening? You keep yelling it out loud to the outside, the physical, looking for answers that way, when in reality, you've been attracting it. But beyond death, life, there wants to be a big rebirth here in your life right now. The love that your heart wants for you is a love that can support the rebirth while you go through that transformational process. And that's why I think I kept channeling, like some of you guys may actually have like an opportunity for that right now. I don't know if someone happened to come into your life or that you're trying to figure, I don't even know. Now another thing's coming through. I'm looking at this back of the deck energy. This could even be someone from your past that's finally sharing how they feel, or someone that's always been there for you. And deep down, you might have a gut feeling that they like you. Maybe you're not sure if you like them, but this is something that can really help you, at least at this point in your life, grow and develop into this dragonfly. But let us see the other cards. So we also have the World, the Page of Pentacles, Opportunity, and the Four of Wands. So the why. You can, if you do this healing, it's just kind of giving me the idea of somebody who is turning fate
like the tides of fate turn and shift based off of how you handle the next steps moving forward. You get to control your destiny this way. But I think you forgot that you had the key or something, pile number one. Like I said, you kept looking for answers outside. But to get that happy ever after and to feel like you're on your way to going there, you have to drop the old story. The old story of thinking that love is easy. The old story of people hurting you. And that means that all people are monsters. That everyone's gonna do this to you. Everyone's gonna do you dirty. Whether it was love, a friend, a close relative. Like, I feel like this may not have just been in love life. This could have been in a lot of different areas when it comes to people. And then lastly, you had the star in reverse as the back of the deck energy that says lack of faith, lacking inspiration or faith, hopeless, negativity, bored, and despair. Love is supposed to be challenging. And if we don't try to practice communication, if we don't try to explore the why behind things enough in a grounded way, in a way that the other person can also receive, then we're going to keep wishing for the perfect love to come around after that one doesn't work out, right? But here's the thing. There is no relationship that's worth it that is going to be easy and simple and effortless. To receive this love, pile number one, you can be 100% ready to receive it. But it's a matter of you. And the when is on you. It's fully dependent on whether you're willing to rise to the occasion to start exploring your inner world now. Because there is things here that have kind of created some of the chaos when it comes to personal relationships in your past too. It wasn't a one-sided thing. And it wasn't all your fault. It wasn't all their fault. I'm not trying to pinpoint a blame source, but it feels like for you energetically, there's so much anger and stuff or outburstic energy. I don't know what this is that I keep feeling. It's a lot of chaos energy. Maybe your emotions tend to go haywire sometimes and they can overrule your actions and your behavior, what you're saying. Sometimes you don't mean what you say. But that's all from like paranoia and anxiety and fear ruling over. It's conflicting with you and how you truly feel. And the only reason why that happens is because you suffer in silence, real feelings, broken dreams, unspoken desires. But we make our decisions at the end of the day. So I hope I answered that to you. But now let us understand a little bit more specifically by getting some tea leaf cards out. Because I think now we understand what is one of the things that's blocking you from fully receiving this love. But maybe there's some physical layers to this situation as well. I'm going to shuffle on screen for this because it's just one deck I'm going to be doing. And we're going to see like what is blocking you, anything else. Like what else could be blocking you from fully receiving this love? So what is blocking pile number one from fully receiving the love that their heart really and truly wants for them? What is blocking pile number one from fully receiving the love that their heart desires for them? Okay. So the back of the deck says, get back to the basics. We got a couple cards out here. And then this one landed here. It says, pale, time to get out of a situation. I had two sets of these cards, so let me just do one more shuffle. What is blocking pile number one from fully receiving the love that their heart actually wants for them? What is blocking pile number one from fully receiving the love that their heart wants for them? Okay. Back of the deck here, beetle, good fortune. There's layers to this, like heavy layers, because I know that truthfully, like deep down, I know that you are genuinely trying to always be a good person, pile number one. Like I could sense it. I can sense how much you care, how much you try. You're very hard on yourself. Sometimes you just feel like you're never good enough. Sometimes you feel like you're never wanted enough, or like people just don't care enough about you as much as you care about them. And it really hurts your heart every single time. I just want to make that clear. The other things that I shared about the outburst, the anger, those are layers of things, okay? Me sharing that isn't to say that you are too much Okay, and that's a fear that I think comes from deep down inside you. But it's because you've had people that may have overreacted in the past. But it's all because, remember what I was saying, how like when it comes to relationships, there's no such thing as a love that lasts, that's easy or effortless. Those people were learning that too. That was their time of learning it. So when they reacted the way that they did so strongly, you don't take it personal. That's them showing to you how much of that they've been able to handle in the past, and that this relationship or whatever connection you were in with that person was testing their limits. It was showing to them, oh, you got to expand to actually want more or gain more out of this thing in the best way. To gain the most out of it, to reap the most rewards, you got to grow. And some people didn't want to meet you there, or the opportunity got a little bit messy and sticky, a little bit messed up, because the people in that connection, you and this other person, didn't know how to navigate it with proper communication, and people were jumping to conclusions too quickly, got triggered too quickly, and started filtering everything the other person would say through their own filter of ego, and ego only gets developed through the wounds that we developed growing up from. Hopefully that makes sense. So if one person's always thinking that this person is attacking them, but they're not trying to attack them at all, they're trying to make them team up together to work and figure something out, it doesn't matter how you say it. They're going to keep seeing it through the wounds of this person is trying to attack me. So you have to sit there for hours trying to get your point across until their guard can lower enough to hear you out. That is something that I had to go through my relationship that I am in right now. We've been together for 4.5 years. And this is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in, because we know that relationships, the ones that we're trying to build a legacy together. It's not going to be easy, and it's not meant to be easy, because if that was easy, then everyone would have a legacy life, right? So I was aware of that. And that's why, like, we need to be able to have the tools to be able to self-regulate enough to be able to show up in these ways, to get these things. And it just seems to me like there's nothing wrong with your character, is what's coming through when I look at the beetle card and the quill card. Like, you haven't done anything wrong. It's just, get back to the basics. This is reminding me of your roots. It's just how you were raised, and you didn't know any better in these certain times. Let's see this card. So needle and thread. A sincere wish will be granted. Time to get out of a situation, and this card landed on top of distrust. Lily, spiritual love. Okay, what's blocking you from fully receiving it? You don't believe in fairy tales. You don't think that there is anyone out there for you. Sorry, I'm just laying the cards out the way they want to be laid out. Okay, so first up we have unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Coins, money will be coming to you. Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. And then career. What's blocking you? So another thing that could actually be blocking you is always using your work as an excuse to not work on yourself. Maybe you are a go-getter, but I definitely feel like you have a fighter personality type. What I mean by that is, like, your stress response, the most dominant stress response in your body is to fight. You know, when it comes to fight, flight, freeze, fawn, those are all the different stress and fear responses that our bodies possess. But we can all have a dominant one. And it seems to me like your dominant one right now is the fight response. You're always trying to be busy. You don't like being still. That is getting in the way of you being able to feel like you're finding the right love, because you're not giving it the time of day. I just realized you couldn't see that. I'm sorry. There's something here where you think you're better off. You don't care. You're strong and independent. I get it. Yes, go. Good for you. That's the way to go. But at the same time, what led you to clicking onto this video? We know deep down, you and I both, pile number one, that there is something here that you feel like you're lacking in life. You don't show it to the world. You show it to yourself. There's something here that wants to come through. And I know it might be hard to hear these things. I'm sending you guys so much unconditional love. But this is the time when we click on these videos. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you exactly the things that's going to help you figure out what's blocking you from receiving it. And when it comes to the love that you say you want, you can get it. You're capable of it, but you need to start being brutally honest with yourself right now. Because there is some self-sabotage that has trickled its way into your life that is kind of holding you back from being able to start looking at the truth underneath the surface of things. And I think your work, or the way that you look at money, it gets in the way of your ability to soften, because you're always on like survival mode. And I feel like deep down you're aware of this,
but you're not vulnerable enough about it yet to be able to make a change. And like, you need to speak about it, I feel like, or like share it, express it, maybe to like someone trusted, someone that you can depend on or confide in, like a therapist or a friend or someone you know you can just count on. It just feels like something wants to come through. You can even write it down to yourself and then read it out loud to yourself, or say it out loud to yourself in the mirror, whatever this is. There's a burden here that wants to be seen and spoken, brought out to the world, not kept in your mind forever. Because there's a cycle here that wants to be heavily broken. And it can get broken, but it's you that needs to do it. You're the only one that can break it. No one else can fix it for you. I feel like maybe you had your hopes up thinking that that could happen in the past, and then the person only made your situation or feelings worse about yourself. So then now it's like you think love is like hopeless. I don't know what it is, but I hope you guys get, there's a lot of different things that have been blocking you from fully being able to receive this love. And yes, you are capable of receiving it, but you know what you got to do. Actually, I did tell you what you got to do, but I didn't tell you specifically what you have to do to receive the love you want. So we're going to be looking at that now, actually, okay? And we're going to be using my Heal Yourself cards, my Sacred Soul Messages deck, and my Star Tarot deck. So we're using a couple different tarot decks if you haven't noticed. And again, I'm going to shuffle the cards off screen just so we save time for this video. And I will meet you back here soon. All right, guys, so I did all the shuffling. I did have to move some cards over here out of the way so I could put your other cards in the frame. And you guys ended up getting a couple of cards, a lot more tarot cards than I expected. And this layer, this row of cards at the top are actually going to be giving us the significator influencing energy that's going to revolve around these 10 cards that we're going to be lying down at the bottom, okay? And for the back of the deck energy, we got the Knight of Swords. So there has been an ongoing energy of like sword energy following us here. Underneath it is the Wheel of Fortune, so that's shifting. And then the Ace of Swords. Again, guys, this is not a coincidence. Do you know how many times we got the Ace of Swords? And it just keeps popping back out. And that's right after the Wheel of Fortune. So this is giving us a straight up indicator that what you have to do to receive the love you want, I feel like you're aware that there's something that needs to be said. There's something that needs to be spoken about. Your truth needs to be expressed. I feel like you're starting to finally pick up what we've been trying to put down in the reading so far. So that's bringing a lot of relief to my heart. And not to mention, for the other back of the deck energies you got, when it comes to the other decks that I shuffled here and pulled cards out for, you received the number 11 with Take Off Your Mask. And what is planted in your soul will sprout. Plant seeds, dedication. Your work is rewarded. So I think that the fighter in you is finding something new, with the Fool card being the only card that landed upright. It's finding something new to fight that's actually going to be worth your time. And you know that this is something that's going to help you get the results you're seeking. And I don't feel like you're doing this with naiveness. You're doing this with like intuition. But also there is a little bit of a survival primitive energy coming through that you have to kind of keep in mind while you go through this transformative time. So let us see the other cards we have here for the significator energies. Next up, by the Fool, we have the Chariot. The number 6 with the Lovers. These cards are crazy beautiful. And then lastly, we have the Two of Cups. Love this for you. What do you have to do to receive the love you want? So the significance and the theme revolved around this reading, it is going to literally be telling you that you got to start handling this a new way. The way that you've been coming about love, or like the way that you had love come into your life in the past, you're not doing it that way anymore. There's a new start that needs to be soul aligned for you. You can't force love anymore. It's not meant for you. And I feel like that's why you keep thinking that love is like hopeless or something, like you're very negative towards it now. It's like you thought that you had to like quote unquote settle or like sacrifice, lose parts of yourself. Love, that is not it at all. And we're going to be figuring it out now specifically, but it is telling me to like follow your soul, follow your heart, do things that bring you peace as well. You need to feel like you have more peace. Okay, so actually before we do this, let's look at the other cards we received as well.
So for the Healing Yourself card, we received the number 13 with rejection. And then we also received the number 19 with temptation. So let us keep that in mind. And then for the Sacred Soul message, we received stop playing small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion, courage moving forward, making progress and action. This is literally giving me Chariot energy. So I like that it's kind of reflecting that. We have the number 2 and 7 coming through again. And number 6 is about reciprocity. But there's a new way that you're going to be doing it. You're really seriously rewriting your entire story on how you view love and how you're going to start approaching it now moving forward. And love when it comes to yourself and love on the outside world. Okay. Maybe that's why too. Okay, now I'm getting it. I'm going to say this before we look at the cards. I get it now. It clicked. What do you have to do to receive the love you want? Pile number 1. You got to stop chasing the love. Or the second it comes in, be like, okay, like it gives you good butterflies, good feelings, good vibes at the beginning. It feels good. So now you think it feels good and that it's safe. I don't know what it is. But when it triggers like your wound, I think you might have fear of rejection or abandonment. There's an outburst. There's something that happens that's reckless. You're not thinking. It's just like primitive survival actions happening, reactions to certain situations that creates chaos and explosiveness and the connection. And it happened on both ends. But because of that, it's like what you were taught as well. Maybe growing up, like I said, there was a lot of emotional instability. You were in a non-stabilizing environment, maybe growing up as well. All of that played a part into how you've been approaching love all this time up until this point in your life. That's why the love that your heart wants is something safe. Somewhere where you can breathe, where you can feel fully accepted and seen and valued and not have to be scared to show your colors, even if they have ugly moments. And the fear with temptation, that is what would lead you to like give in too quickly. Before you were able to see the true colors of a person, you had to be more careful. And in order to be more careful, you have to show your all right away instead of being afraid of being too timid. And that like attracts the wrong people. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but we're gonna keep going. And then hopefully the cards give us more like way better way for me to explain it better. Okay, so for the first card, we have the Knight of Pentacles. I'm actually gonna layer this on top of that because we already explained it. Actually, fuck it. No, we're not. Next up, we have the Princess of Pentacles, also known as the Page of Pentacles. Thirdly, the King of Wands. The Five of Wands. I love this card, the meaning of it. And then for the last card of this row, the King of Pentacles. Now, to clarify, the card clarifying the Knight of Pentacles is the Hermit. Clarifying the Princess of Pentacles is the Three of Swords. Clarifying the King of Wands is the Nine of Swords. Clarifying the Five of Wands is the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, 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 we love this. I love this for you. It's very straight up. I like what it's telling you. And clarifying the King of Pentacles, last but not least, we have the Ace of Cups. Yes! Okay, let's go. I love this Ace of Cups. I love this, love this, love this for you. So, stop playing small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. Courage, moving forward, making progress, action. Remember when I was talking at the beginning about dimming your light? You don't want someone that dims your light. You want someone that keeps your light bright and going. What you have to do to receive the love you want, pile number 1,
It's actually pretty straightforward. Before you let yourself, if there ever is like a person that comes into your life moving forward, the way that you handle it, you must make sure that you are wary and cautious, yes, which I know that you do that naturally, but you do it to extreme now, where it doesn't even give it a shot. You got to do it in a way that's like leveled, where you show your biggest truths straight up, like head first into the whatever connection you might be exploring in that moment, and see how that person reacts over time. Because I can tell you for a fact that the right person, you will find the right person. I'm telling you right now, 100%. Pile number one, if you're watching this and you're single, you're going to find the right person, and this person's going to commit fully, and they're not going to give up. They're not going to give up on you. They're not going to give up on what you have. You are worthy of that, and the reason why they're not going to give up on it is they're going to see you choosing not to give up on it too. It feels like you also had a tendency to throw in the towel, or not even throw in the towel, but like be like, oh my God, this is too much, and maybe you would say it out loud a lot, but you never really let yourself take a deep breath and say, how can we get out of this gunk together? Maybe you were never given an opportunity or a chance to react that way instead. But the way that you have to do what you have to do to receive the love you want right now, pile number one, is to first work on your healing. You got to work on going inside yourself with the Knight of Pentacles and the Hermit here by starting small. I'm not asking you to just jump right into it all, but definitely start asking yourself some questions or get more curious about your inner world, because your inner world lies and has a lot more answers to this than you realize or than you think right now. I don't think you really know this just yet. This is something that I feel like you're going to start to unravel within yourself during the next couple of weeks if you are willing to listen to everything I am telling you to do. Once you start giving yourself the time of day, I feel like you're going to start to realize a lot of really big reasons as to why a lot of things didn't work out the way they did in the past, or why they happened the way they did. And it's going to start to show you like a reoccurring pattern that is going to make you start wanting to heal yourself more than you ever wanted to before. I don't even think you let yourself care that much about yourself because of the stories that people put in your head growing up and just in your past in general, with people in general. That's changing. If you are willing to do this, what it takes to receive the love that you want and that your heart wants for you, the right love, the love that's worthy of your time and energy. Because the one thing that you used to try to always protect growing up was your peace, but to protect your peace, you never really knew what real peace was. You just tried to protect yourself and you thought yourself was peace, but I don't know, I just keep hearing like there's too many voices in your head, too much noise, too much like white noise. I don't know if that, you get what I'm saying? There's too much chaos, and you're just looking for like an anchor or a safe haven, something to like make you be able to like shut that noise up, but you got to be able to do it for yourself. And this person's gonna, like the right person, the one that your heart wants for you, they're gonna be your rock, but you also need to show up for yourself in that way or work on it in some way, because that shows to the universe that you're ready for that too. It's a mirroring effect. Your inner world, like I said, reflects your outer world. But if you can't show up for yourself yet, if you can't find a home inside yourself, how are you going to find a home inside someone else? Or else we're going to force them to be all into our world and not be a little bit in theirs. And in a connection, we're supposed to be a little bit of both, or be willing to explore theirs, and they need to be willing to explore your world. But if you haven't even given your own world the time of day, then that's not fair. You're going to force them to just be all about you. Do you not get what I'm saying? And this is like not your fault. What I'm trying to say is very like straight to the point. I'm just very blunt in these readings. I do shadow work for a living. Like I work with clients one-on-one to facilitate a space of deep healing for them to do like deep shadow work integration. And, we work together through emotional witnessing and things like that. So it's just like, I'm being very cutthroat and straight to the point for the sake of just the reading, so I'm not keeping you guys here forever. And also just because it feels like you guys are that personality type that need to hear it direct and blunt and truthfully. There is a big feeling of lack of control in your life in some area, or you feel like you're just not strong enough, confident enough, pretty enough. There's something here where you keep putting a lot of like weight on you and pressure or something. There needs to be more self-love here. Once you're able to do that specifically, explore your inner world, pile number one, this is what's going to help you. I am feeling the call, so I am going to share and offer this to you. I do offer, and I just recently started a couple of different things, So I am a trauma-informed facilitator for deep healing. I do offer free soul clarity calls to see if one-on-one work would be something that you would be interested in, okay? So if you do think you would be interested in that, and that could be all my offerings, not just readings, which I do also offer. I do offer soul immersion readings. They're $88, and basically it is a recorded reading that lasts however long source wants it to last. There's no set time limit on how long I take to record the reading. Sometimes it could be an hour, sometimes it's over an hour, sometimes it's 45 minutes, but usually the readings tend to range between like 45 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes. But all of that is on you, about you. So if those are things that you would be interested in, all the links to those things are down in my description box, because I do feel like you should be exploring things a little bit deeper, because it feels like you have an understanding of what you got to do, but it still feels like you're missing something. And doing a reading this way in a pick a card, I can't find that source like this, you know? So I hope that this part was helpful. It does show to me that the way that you've been handling it needs to change, and I think that I've shared enough downloads. You guys just need to plug it in and rewatch this, I guess, as many times as you need to, this part of the reading, to make it make sense and plug into your specific situation, tailored to you. But I did already pre-shuffle when I got these cards ready for you guys, the next part of the reading to finish up your video actually and your reading, which is final messages from source. And then I also pulled out for you a self-discovery question that you are being called to reflect on, that's going to aid you in receiving the love you want. Okay, so we got one of those here. And you also received 2 coping skills, exercises for stress and anxiety relief to help you build resilience and daily well-being, which is going to aid you in the process of receiving the love as well. Okay, so these are things that you can definitely do, highly recommend you do, and pause the video or screenshot, take notes, do what you gotta do when I share them here. And then these are the final messages from source. You actually ended up getting like 4 cards, which I was really surprised by. And then we're also going to be reading an animal medicine card that you are meant to listen to. And we're going to be reading that in the medicine card booklet to wrap it all up. Okay, love? So before we go into these exercises, I want to actually layer them up with the final messages from source as well as your higher self, okay? So you did receive 4 for the first one. You received strengthen your spiritual connection, faith, guidance, inner peace, and connection. Well, you are having distrust issues, right? So that's making sense. Practice self-care, nurturing, restoration, rejuvenation, and well-being. Ace of Cups, self-love. Practice self-love. Wow, okay. Self-care, self-respect, self-worth, and boundaries. Maybe you used to let people give them too many chances, and now you're being asked to stop that. And then lastly, practice non-judgment, acceptance, compassion, understanding, and love. I don't know if you've noticed, pile number 1, but you literally got practice, practice, practice. So I think this is still giving more insight into what we were referring to with the Star Tarot, and this is the cherry on top, basically. And now, my loves, before we look at the animal medicine that came through that's meant for you, let's look at your practices, okay? So for a coping skill, an exercise you guys received, healing. When life knocks you down, address your wounds and assess your pains. Stop pretending. Start healing. How did you get hurt? What are you feeling right now? What do you need right now? Do one thing today to help you heal. They're literally asking you to heal. That's insane. I've never gotten that card. And then we have emotional release, which is also ruled by the Ace of Cups with the C, the very crooked C. In 2 minutes, write down all the emotions describing what you are feeling right now. Using 3 more minutes, write down all the emotions you felt in the past 7 days. What do you notice? I just keep feeling like you need to express this. There's something that needs to be said. You need to talk to somebody, vent. I don't know. You know, something that I actually used to do a lot at the beginning of my healing journey that was really, really helpful is video diaries. I know it sounds weird, but you know, if you have Snapchat or something on your phone, you know, there's like that private area where you can only see those videos and you can make like a code. You know, why not feel like, if you're open to it, a suggestion for you could be to record yourself and just share what's coming through in your head. And I'm telling you, even those little things can help you because you're releasing it. And then one day you're gonna look back on it and be like, I have come so freaking far. Because I still have so many videos from years and years and years ago, like all the way from like 2019, 2018, 2017 of like my healing and stuff. And it's just crazy to see me like hyperventilating, staring at a door, hoping that someone comes through versus now. And I'm secure in myself. I'm grounded in myself. I can depend on myself. I trust myself. I'm working on trusting myself better. We could say that. I'm still working on that right now. But, you know, I've come pretty far. I feel like you need more reminders of that. You could be your own hype me up person. And lastly, for a question to reflect on, a prompt maybe, it's emotional intelligence category. What is your most effective emotion regulation strategy? What is your most effective emotional regulation strategy? So I did share some of the things that helped me. Some other things that also helped me is dance, so somatic release, intuitive movement medicine. Literally close the door, play some music that feels healing. I have a playlist in my Spotify that's linked in my link tree in my description box. There's a bunch of Spotify's playlists that I made on Spotify that can help you with that as well, like for release, emotional, somatic movement release and stuff too. So, you know, you're not supposed to look at yourself dance. You're supposed to do it in a space where there's no mirrors. If you can cover up any mirrors in the space, just move that way. That's another great way to do some releasing as well. But it does seem like emotional regulation has been a huge theme. And when it comes to finishing up your reading, my loves, here is your final card, the animal medicine that you're meant to receive and carry with you forward. I'm freaking out. You have dragonfly with the number 27. That number has followed us here. Look, 27. You can't see it, it's there. And then we had the 2 of Cups and the 7 of Cups earlier. And we had a 2 and a 7 somewhere else earlier, but I don't remember where. But the fact that and then we also had dragonfly earlier, right here. So I don't know if you needed any more confirmation to strengthen your spiritual connection, love, but here it is. And we're going to read what this is now, the medicine meant for you. So let me get the booklet out and we'll read that together. Here we go. Dragonfly medicine is of the dream time and the illusionary facade we accept as physical reality. The iridescence of dragonfly wings reminds us of colors not found in our everyday experience. Dragonfly's shifting of color, energy, form, and movement explodes into the mind of the observer, bringing vague memories of a time or place where magic reigned. Some legends say that dragonfly was once dragon, and that dragon had scales like dragonfly's wings. Dragon was full of wisdom and flew through the night, bringing light with its fiery breath. The breath of dragon brought forth the art of magic and the illusion of changing form. Then dragon got caught in its own facade. Coyote tricked dragon into changing form, and the shape of its new body became like dragonflies. And accepting the challenge to prove its power and magical prowess, dragon lost its power. Dragonfly is the essence of the winds of change, the messages of wisdom and enlightenment, and the communications from the elemental world. This elemental world is made up of the tiny spirits of plants and of the elements air, earth, fire, and water. In essence, this world is full of nature spirits. If Dragonfly has flown into your cards today, you may have forgotten to water your plants. On another level, you may need to give thanks to the foods you eat for sustaining your body. On the psychological level, it may be time to break down the illusions you have held that restrict your actions or ideas. Dragonfly medicine always beckons you to seek out the parts of your habits which you need to change. Have you put on too much weight, or have you started to look like a scarecrow? Have you tended to the changes you have wanted to make in your life? If you feel the need for change, call on Dragonfly to guide you through the mists of illusion to the pathway of transformation. See how you can apply the art of illusion to your present question or situation. And remember that things are never completely as they seem. Mic drop. Like that, wow. Things aren't always as they seem. I feel like there's more clarity to something that you've been letting haunt in your mind, that you just keep replaying like one perspective about, and it needs to be looked at in different layers. And I feel like these things, all these questions, all these the final messages from source, like this was it for you. Like I really hope that whoever was able to listen to this reading all the way to the very end and they got what they needed, like bless your soul, love, because I feel like you guys really got a really big ticket or gateway to helping you start feeling more aligned in your love life. And I'm telling you, it wasn't a yes or a no, it was a maybe if you do this, or yes if you do this. So you were on your way. With that being said, I really want you guys to know from the bottom of my heart how grateful I am that you guys chose me to do this reading for you today, that you clicked on my video. You know, I really don't try to be anything other than who I am authentically in my truth when I do these things. And I do try to make sure that source all the messages that come through as unfiltered as possible. And so sometimes, you know, I'm sorry if my words get jumbled, it might not make sense in the moment, but I promise you it will. If you keep rewatching, if you write it down, it's gonna click eventually, okay? So with that being said, if you are new here, welcome. Feel free to hit the subscribe button if you want to join this community. Hit the like button if this reading resonated, or if it didn't resonate, hit the dislike. Any form of engagement really does help support me and my channel and the mission that I am trying to do through my YouTube channel, which is help make this world a better place with one healed person at a time, because it's healed people that help heal this world. So with that being said, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you in my next readings to come. Bye. Hello, 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 my beautiful pile number twos. If this is the card that aided you in being able to select this pile, the card that says let love transform with the number 14, I don't know why I almost said 11, interesting, then you already know that this reading is for you in reference to whether or not are you really ready for the love that you say you want. When it comes to this card, for some reason, looking at the number 14, it instantly gave me the image in my head of Temperance. You know, that's the major arcana card 14. When I look here, okay, right off the bat, like before we even look at the booklet that goes along with this deck, I'm already picking up on this energy of like alchemy. Like there's something in the works for you when it comes to your love life, but it feels more internal rather than external. As if the way that you're approaching love or the way that you're attracting it is going to be different than how maybe you used to do it the old way. There was some old habit, old pattern that's like changing, it's shifting moving forward. And in this reading, we're going to be just figuring out, if you're ready for the love you say you want, right? But at the same time, it also seems to me like whether you want it or not, there is a transformation coming up in your love life. Like in the way you receive it, how you show up in it, and your aura, your energy, there's something here. So I'm really curious to see what else the booklet has to say and what the cards have to say when we move into the first section of the reading. So let's take a look at the poem that is aligned with this card. So it's number 14. All right, beautiful. Let love transform. The spring of love arrives to transform the dust into a garden. The call is heard from the heavens to bid the wings of soul to fly. The sea becomes filled with pearls. The dry land receives the water of life. The stone becomes a ruby, and the body becomes all soul. Love is my medicine, intelligent medicine, that takes death and makes it a passageway into greater life. What genius is this? A genius that will render anything and everything as a pathway to life. I have found a bench upon which we may be seated. Nay, not a bench, a love seat. It is carved of precious ruby. It sits under the gentle shade of an ancient tree that thrives in love's garden. Come sit with me, beloved, as we let the whispers of the great beloved penetrate our hallowed ears, carried upon the sweet afternoon breeze. As the sun begins to set, the colors become vibrant. Even if we are deaf to the beloved's tender whispers, we shall not be blind. We shall be captured by the vivid display of the beloved's artistry and be transported into peace. This oracle comes to you as a living spiritual gift. Whether you realize it or not, you have triumphed. You have blossomed, succeeded, cast aside that which was unworthy, and taken up love's way. How much delight there is from all those that walk this way of love, of life, to find another precious companion in their midst. You are welcome into this world where love finds a way. There is nothing impossible for love. It is not bound by the mind, and because of this, all manner of miraculous grace works through it in endless creative variety. The great beloved is a show-off, creating with such genius as to be breathtaking. We were able to remain always in the heart. We would be constantly breathless, in a fit of appreciation and awe so great, truly, there would not even be a slither of emptiness through which fear could enter. What does this mean? It means an avenue for divine fulfillment has been found. You are being given the power for spiritual success. Your heart's yearning shall manifest itself, but you must comply according to the law of love. What does that mean exactly? Oh, okay, this is actually interesting because I was feeling like your way of showing it, how you're going to show up in love is shifting. So what does that mean exactly? Do not attach yourself to the form that your resolution and success shall take. Why would we seek to limit love's creative genius thus? No, instead, trust that it will be magnificent perfection, literally the work of great genius. Detach yourself from expectations of timing. The harvest will be at the best time when the ripeness is just right, so utterly juicy and sweet, you shall know with certainty that this was the best way. Not a moment sooner would have been perfect, nor a moment later. Absolute trust is the best way to adhere to the law of love. This gives you rather some energy to spare, perhaps, that might have otherwise been engaged in perpetuating worry or doubt. Okay, sorry. I'm just looking at the sacred honoring ritual. If you guys feel called, feel free to pause this. I'm not going to read it. Just pause the video, read it on your own, or screenshot it, take notes, do what you got to do. I'm going to take it out of the way now. I had a feeling that maybe some of you guys might feel called to do it. If not, that's fine as well. I know that was a mouthful, guys. Thank you for your patience. But it really seems like there's a lot of hope here. And with the color pink, so I actually looked into this because I used to get a lot of aura pictures for myself. It was like a little project I did way back, years ago. And I found out that, pink is a color in the auric field that has to do with a lot of uniqueness. So there's like a way of showing up in love that's going to be uniquely yours, that's going to be like your signature, quote unquote. I know that sounds really freaking weird, guys. It just, the way that you're going to show up, no one else is going to be able to match that vibration. Or maybe you're starting to like realize that within yourself as we speak. I just feel like there's a big sense of empowerment here with the color pink kind of spiraling with the light, the sun here. It feels like there is some sort of preparation and alchemizing of energies, like I said, from the past into the future, into the present. Like there's a lot of new, but also a lot of self-actualization here. And there's also this kind of unknown or mystery energy when it comes to your love life. So I am very curious to see what the rest of the cards are going to have to say. I did already pre-shuffle the first set of cards when it comes to the first question we're going to be looking at, which is what kind of love does your heart actually and truly genuinely want? So, because we need to understand that. We did get one rune card for you as well as a card from my Ask Your Guides deck. And then I already shuffled my transparent tarot deck where I already got a couple of cards ready for you here too. So before we look at these two cards and then look at the tarot, I did want to share with you what the back of the deck has revealed to me. It's going to look a little bit confusing, to be completely honest with you guys, just because it is backwards facing. So you might not be able to see like the numbers and stuff. but I will tell you what I am seeing. So obviously we see strength here. Underneath it is the Page of Cups, and then beside it is the Seven of Pentacles, and then the Tower card. And then we have Empress. There's like this journeying that you've been kind of moving through within yourself. And it feels like this has been something that's been ongoing for, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it, years. This feels like there's been some sort of huge internal self-development thing going on for years within you. And the way that you're going to start showing up in love shortly, moving forward, it's going to be massive. Like, you're not even going to be able to recognize how you're doing it anymore. Like, the version of you from, let's say, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, dealing with love, with other people, getting other people involved, like whatever, whenever there was other people involved romantically and things, like that version of you is not going to be able to recognize this upcoming version of you and how you're going to start showing up in love moving forward. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of like resilience that got developed through these chapters that you've been moving through. And I feel like now you've also reached a certain point, like, right, we were talking about self-actualization. It also feels like through that, you've also realized what it is that you're really seeking in love too. Like, you feel like you're getting, or you've gotten a lot more clearer in who you are. Like, you're becoming more firm in who you are, more stable in who you choose to be and want to embody each and every day, that frequency you want to align with, you know what I mean? So that's really, really cool, because it seems like boundaries, like your yeses and your nos, the things that you're willing to take on and the things you aren't willing to at all. Like, you're starting to really finalize those things, and not in the way where you're being like ridiculously rigid, but it's just like, what's the word? They're just like non-negotiables for you. You know, because if you were to just give in to them now, you know, like maybe 3-4 years down the road, you're going to regret it. And it's like, you don't want to ever have that. You know yourself a lot more. I feel like you're a lot more stern or stable within yourself. And that's really ridiculously benefiting you through your love life journey moving forward. So let us continue to see, to put more pieces together. I gave you the back of the deck energy. This is a significator card energy. It's a set of 3 cards actually paired together. So these significator cards are going to be showing to us the kind of theme influencing all the other cards that we're going to be laying down right now, okay? So the theme here that we're going to be seeing has to do with the 9 of Swords, with the Knight of Pentacles, and then the 6 of Swords. So this is showing to us there is an opportunity here that's trying to come through, and it's moving you to calmer waters as you continue to embrace this new opportunity, but you're kind of fighting it at the same time. There's a little bit of a wary energy here where you're like unsure because of how strong you are with your boundaries. The number 9 keeps coming through. I don't know why I keep picturing 9 of Pentacles energy in my head. The 9 of Pentacles isn't even here at all. I don't know if I have the 9 of Pentacles in this pile. I haven't checked the cards out. But 9 of Pentacles, like independence, self-sufficiency. Like, you don't need anyone, or you're in the process of realizing that now. Either or, that's the energy I keep extracting from you guys. By the way, I just want to let you guys know, if you see me holding cards weird, doing funky things, I just had to get my bandage removed for this little incision site. So I'm a little bit paranoid because it still hurts really pretty bad. So I just wanted you guys to keep that in mind. And I'm sorry if my hand doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. So let us look at the other cards here before we start laying out the tarot. So first up, we have the keyword gifts with joy guides with the number 6. I already am like picking up on something strong here. You are a strong, independent person, pile number 1. And then we also received the Berkana rune with the words being birth, general fertility, both mental and physical, and personal growth, liberation, regenerative power, and light of spring, renewal, promise of new beginnings, and new growth. This is so flipping beautiful. So beautiful. Okay. Let's look at the tarot. I already have a lot of things coming through in my head, but I want to just lay all the cards out and then just kind of dive into it all at once, like in one go, okay? So we have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one wants to come out. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 cards. So we're going to be laying out 7 sets of cards in the column, or the row, sorry, not column, columns like this, row. And each set is gonna have a pair of 2 cards on top of each other. Does that make sense? So this is the first card, and then we have the 10 of Swords over here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's gonna be weird to try to make it focus, guys, but this is the 10 of Swords. So wants to go next to it, but so pairing with the 10 of Swords is the 9 of Cups. Okay, so the 10 of Swords with the 9 of Cups, the 7 of Swords with the Ace of Pentacles. Next up, the Ace of Cups with the Queen of Wands. The 6 of Pentacles with the 2 of Cups. So there's 3 more sets. The 6 of Cups. This is so interesting. You're having many sixes here. With the Magician, the 10 of Pentacles, with the 7 of Wands. I keep just seeing fighting, like someone fighting for their independence or for what they believe is rightfully theirs, what they know they're deserving of. And then lastly, the Queen of Cups with the 2 of Swords. Okay. Oh, wow. There's a lot of information here. So we're looking at what kind of love your heart genuinely wants for you, actually wants for you, you know, because at the end of the day, this might not just be the love that you say you want, but this is the love that's aligned most for what your soul and your higher self wants for you with what your heart wants, right? Soul aligned. So first off, what I can tell you, the number 666 is going to be of significance to you, okay? And the only reason why I'm saying that is because you have a 6 here and it's forming a trinity right here. But then there's also this polarizing energy, opposites attract energy, like a yin and yang, and you guys fit in together. The type of love that your heart wants for you, pal number 1, has to do with this fight that you felt like you have been. Oh, and I just realized, look, guys, 6 and 9. That's what I'm saying. The number 6 and 9 has significance here. I just put that together, guys. Because I was talking about 6 and 9, they're mirroring each other. So some of you guys might actually be Cancer signs, or the sign of Cancer, or the months June and July may have a significance here for some reason, okay? This is a timeless reading. Doesn't matter when you're watching this, but I just wanted to share that because it's here. Moving forward though, when it comes to the love that your heart wants for you, it wants reciprocity. It wants to know that someone can like meet their end of the bargain. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if there was a lot of inequality in past relationships, past connections, where you felt like you were always the one like giving or having to like stabilize things for others, but you don't want to feel like you're a parent in a romantic connection. You don't want to feel like you have to play a certain role. You just want to be you, and you want to be accepted, and you also want to be met halfway in the love. So you can meet them, give your 100%, but also know with certainty that they're giving you 100% back, so that you guys always feel like you're charged. And that's what I mean by reciprocity. Reciprocity is like, you know, there's equality, there's fairness here, and there's justice. And now I think I understand. When I looked here, I said the number 11 because the number 11 has to do with Justice card, Major Arcana. I just put that together now. But now I also understand why the Temperance card came through, right? Because there's an alchemizing energy here. You want to be able to learn from the person, or at least this is what the love that your heart wants for you, pal number 1. They're seeking somebody for you that helps you understand that yes, you can be an independent, strong individual, but you don't always have to do it alone. There's like a weird lone wolf mentality, or this weird, like, it's not weird. It's genuinely what I think personally is a trauma response. There might be some PTSD when it comes to depending on others, and you started to learn, your brain started to learn that you can't trust anybody, or it's very hard to. And when it comes to love, there may have been a really bad need to control things, control situations for other people, because maybe you thought, you know, your way of solving it was the only way or the best way, or there's just something to do with control here when it came to other people's stuff. And you're just really tired of it. You know that you are in a position, or at least your heart recognizes it for you, your higher self sees it, your soul sees it, that you are in a position where
you don't need to be like carrying other people's crap right now, and you shouldn't have to. When it comes to the love that your heart wants for you, pile number 2, did I say pile number 1 before, guys? I don't even know. I do not know, and I'm sorry if I did. This is pile number 2. The love that your heart wants for you is one that doesn't feel like a burden, is one that doesn't feel like it's getting in the way of your success, is getting in the way of your goals that you're trying to fulfill or stay persistent at, is what I'm hearing, because some of you guys are in a good spot already when it comes to certain goals. And not interfere or get in the way with your self-growth journey and get in the way with your ability to keep learning from life. You want to be able to learn with them. And reciprocity, I just realized that the 6 of Pentacles with the 2 of Cups is smack dab in the middle of this entire setup of cards. So there is a big highlight here of like wanting some even, equal give and take in the situation when it comes to love. You are a big go-getter, pile number 2. And your higher self, your heart sees that, but that also means that you deserve the same. You deserve to be with somebody that is also a go-getter, and that can also at the same time though hold their own weight when you can't be there for them sometimes. And they need to be okay with that, because in relationships that are healthy, at least this is what I'm seeing with what your heart wants, it is going to be kind of like a seesaw where it's like this. It's very hard to keep it in the middle all the time. Sometimes one partner is going to need the other partner to kind of overcompensate a little bit. But then they know that they're going to have that partner's back when that time comes for them too. Sometimes we need to be in those weird unequal situations depending on the problems or whatever's happening in the other person's lives and vice versa. And it seems to me like you don't want them to make you feel like okay, I'm just gonna cuss. You don't want them to make you feel shitty for like putting certain priorities first, when those priorities are things that you've built for a long time, and like your heart's trying to really like protect that right now and protect you from, okay, I don't like why Source is telling me to say this, but making stupid decisions. I don't know why. Maybe in the past you may have given the cold shoulder when it came to like certain, I don't like this word, but I'm gonna use it just to keep channeling like with my flow, red flags. I don't like it. Everyone just has wounded traits, and we all come from our own personal wounds, core wounds, things like that. But you would overlook them, and they weren't things that you were able to be patient with or hold space for enough, or you would always just kind of like let them slide until they would like pile up, or you wouldn't hold the person accountable enough. There was something here where your boundaries weren't honored enough, and your heart's trying to make sure that your boundaries, like, they never wobble like that again. Because you really have built something when it comes to your inner world or your outer world, or it could even be both, pile number 2. And they don't want to see that crumble anymore. They don't want you to ever second guess what's right for you, what's best for you. They just want to know that the person that you're with moving forward, the kind of love that your heart wants for you moving forward, is the love that meets you where you are, doesn't make you second guess yourself, doesn't make you question yourself, but they just continue to support you every step of the way. And they show up when they need to show up, because they know that you're going to pull your weight, but you want to know that they will do it too. There's something here with that. So let us now take a look and see if you're actually ready to receive this love that your heart's longing for you, okay? And we're going to be trying to get a yes or no answer. And you know, sometimes there will be a maybe, but it depends on how the cards portray themselves to us, okay? So I am going to zoom out just slightly, okay, in case we need more space. And I am just going to move these cards to the side. Actually, like that. So give me one moment while I do this. Okay. So we're going to keep the transparent tarot on the table, and we're just going to layer everything. That's how I normally like to do these. So I'm just trying to make it look not stressful to anybody with OCD. And I'm going to pile things on. Okay, so just make sure you guys haven't taken notes, because I forgot to say that in the intro for this video. All right. So I am going to be using my Into One tarot deck here to get a significator energy for the yes or no. We're going to be using my Before tarot deck, my What's the Vibe deck,
and my love oracle deck here to all see and help us extract the exact yes or no answer, or maybe, depending on what comes through. And then we're going to understand the why behind what answer comes through and give us all the bigger specifics here, okay, for more clarity. So give me one moment while I shuffle and get all these cards out and ready for you, just so we can dive right in, okay? And I'll meet you right back. All right, guys, so I have gotten all the cards set up. We got them here. And I did want to say, it really feels like you guys, when you ended up picking this video or this reading to do, you may have been in like a place of like, why the heck not? Like, why not I just check this out? Like, I'm quite curious actually, because of how hard you worked on like the self-empowerment stage you've been in your life. So I did just feel called to share that with you. There is this energy here of patience that has been coming up for back of the deck energy, like crazy. And not to mention that I just realized now, like I remember when we were reading the booklet for your significator card that helped you select this pile, it was talking about how like one of the biggest things you have to do right now to work with letting love transform in your life is patience, and not like expecting a time frame for when it should happen or for it to happen. Just release the expectation and trust and surrender to the process. So, you know, that's really interesting that I just keep getting a bunch of cards. We got the 7 of coins here, right? So the big words up here: good things take time, perseverance, long-term view, coming to fruition, harvest, ripen, investments, patience. And then we also have, look, vacay as another back of the deck energy: get away, relax, have fun. And then we also got Cupid's arrow. So it says, have faith, love is coming, surprise invitation or meeting and hesitation. So again, there's something here about time that keeps coming through with your back of the deck energies. And the biggest thing that I think Source really wants to let you know when it comes to this, I did forget to show this to you earlier. This is another back of the deck energy we had for you, was pleasure with divine goddess. Underneath it, I felt called to look underneath, is divine healers with shadow. We need to be a little bit careful to not get too fixated on the me, mine, my lifestyle. And what I mean by me, my, mine lifestyle is when we get really focused on like healing our independence, there is a little inner rebel inside us that will come out every once in a while. Especially if the independence wound was something we were trying to heal that came from an inner child wound originally. So it may have come up from generational or parental trauma, upbringing, you know? And that might get triggered when you think about love, or you're trying to act like you don't need it. So you were like, oh, why the heck not? Why don't I just look into this? Because I already know that I'm worthy of this, but I just am curious to see what the cards have to say. If that was something that led you to this reading, I want to let you know that it's beautiful to see that you have so much confidence in you, like you're doing this just for the fun of it. But at the same time, I want to let you know that it's also important to recognize that it is okay to have desires, and it is okay to have wants in life. And with the pleasure card that did come through, I feel like in order to call this in, you have to be a little bit more honest with yourself, pile number 2, when it comes to how you really feel about love and the part that you genuinely wanted to play in your life. So when we were talking about the kind of love that your heart actually wants for you, I know that deep down, like, this is something, the type of love that you would accept, and this is the love that you would be happy to invite in, bring into your life. But in order to call it forward, there needs to be more embodiment of that desire, letting it be there and being okay with it, surrendering to the desire, letting it be there but not take up so much space that it's consuming you every single day and you can't stop obsessing over when it's going to come. Does that make sense? Like, we need to have a healthy balance between that instead of just avoiding it completely because it frustrates you or it's not coming quick enough. So that just wanted to come through before we keep going. I don't know why. Maybe it's going to play a part in this next section that we're about to dive into together, but are you ready to receive this love? Yes or no? Let us see. You actually ended up getting 2 significator cards. So let us actually take a look at those first. First up, we have the 2 of Wands in reverse. And it says, lacking a strategy. Reassess, make adjustments, set goals, and define your purpose. Aries and Mars ruled by this card. And then the card that goes along with it, because there's 2 significator cards, I said, oh, and then we have the Chariot. Cancer energy.
That's so interesting. I was talking about Cancer energy coming through earlier. It says strength of will, forward movement, determined, willpower, success, control, action, travel, and focus. Honestly, are you ready to receive this love? I personally believe that it's a yes, but there's a but here. You are ready to receive this love, pile number 2, but there isn't enough focus on it. And now I get why that little side note wanted to come through, because it's feeding into this. Before we look at the before tarot, to get the why behind the but, right? The but dot dot dot. Let us look at the other oracle cards here first to plug and continue adding more emphasis here and information. So first up, we have the twin flames. Oh my God, that is crazy because that's yin and yang energy. Yin and yang, literally it says it. I never got this card. That's why I just find it so funny. Yin and yang, zen, balance, union, duality, coupling, complementing each other. That's the exact vision I had for the type of love that your heart wants for you, pile number 2. So I am very tripped out. Perhaps there's a wound of running away when things feel too good to be true, because of experiences of the past that felt that way and they collapsed right under your feet. And so you had to develop this shield to protect yourself from those moments, because at the end of the day, we truly will never know when those moments will happen. And they can really catch us off guard. So you feel like you have to be extra hyper vigilant when it comes to that, specifically when it comes to the things you can't control, which is people. That's just something that's coming through. But, let's keep looking, because we're obviously, after this, we're going to be seeing what are the extra blockages that is blocking you from fully receiving this love. And I really am probably going to do this quickly, like add it in here. We have ascending. Oh, that's so cool. Transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, preparing for union. That is crazy. Yes! Okay. Were you guys the runner? Like, I am not the biggest fan when people say, oh, you're twin flame, because I feel like that word is thrown around way too much in society, especially when it comes to love readings. It frustrates me. It really bothers me, because it really puts like that thought in someone's head, and then it makes them obsess over this one person, when in reality, like, you have choice. You get to choose the things and the battles you want to take on. Okay, I'm going off tangent. Let's go back to your reading. But what I'm seeing here with these 2 love cards, it's still giving me that yes, but energy. And the reason why there's a but is because there needs to be more movement to show source that this is what you want. What's the vibe card? Exactly, because this is why. Isolation, rejected, left alone, self-inflicted. This is literally telling me all I need to know. And remember, I was saying that channeled idea that came through. Now I get why it was a mouthful. The feeling of being in the runner, lone wolf mentality. Maybe you also think that no one is ever good enough for you. But that's like a shield you put on, like an armor, because you're so afraid of getting hurt. So you're always going to try to make sure they tick off all the boxes before you even consider it, because you're such in like protective mode. Does that make sense? Because there's also that feeling there as well. And you don't have an issue. This might not resonate with everyone that picked this pile, but I feel like some of you guys don't have an issue like having one night stands, sleeping around, having fun. But then at the same time, it's like there are people that come on your path, but you don't even want to think about it during that time. So you run away, you disappear, you block them, you ghost them, because it's like they start developing connections and you're not ready for that. It's too much, too scary, and you don't even know if they're good for you. And maybe there's one little thing that gives you the quote unquote ick, and then you run out the door, like you're gone. Phew. But like, it's normal to have icks on certain things. It's normal. Like, okay, let's look. Bridget is diving into tangents without seeing the whole picture. So let us see what the before tarot has to say, and then we'll dive into all of this. This is going to give us the why behind the yes answer, but there's a but. So first off, we have the 2 of Pentacles, and this is before he is about to start juggling them. So this is giving me turbulence energy. There's a lot going on in your life already that you're trying to juggle. Next up, we have the 3 of Swords. And this is before the swords are piercing the heart. But there is an inner knowing here with this crow flying. Like,
there's this energy of you're aware, you look from a distance, you take in information from a distance, you have a keen eye, you're very observant in nature, and then we have the Nine of Swords coming through. This is all just screaming hypervigilance to me. What is it called? Five of Wands, exactly. There's an attachment style. What's it called? Avoidant, fearful avoidant, I think. A fearful avoidant attachment style. That's something I highly recommend that you guys look into. I am not a doctor, nor am I a psychologist, but I am a trauma-informed facilitator for deep healing, and I work one-on-one with clients to help them heal self-sabotaging tendencies by facilitating a space for them to learn how to become their own inner healer, okay? And I guide them one-on-one in sessions to do that. Out of all these cards and the energy I've been picking up on you guys, pile number 2, there is a fearful avoidant, I think that's what it's called, a fearful avoidant attachment style simmering within you. And love has been something that you've had tastes of in your past, glimpses of is what I'm picking up on. But you never had the real full thing entirely. It's like right when it was getting good, something imploded and you just never got to experience it. So it kind of left you constantly on edge whenever it came to that L word. It's scary. It is scary. I can also say though, what's interesting here is like this was all divinely meant to happen. Like I do want to make something clear. Like there's nothing wrong with you, pile number 2, okay? All these things that we are talking about right now, this is something that was a necessary experience for you to have in this life, for you to be able to open your heart and your arms out wide for everything else moving forward. When it comes to like maybe wanting to have a family one day, I'm actually picturing some of you guys who chose this pile getting irked out by what I just said. Like some of you guys don't even want to think about the idea of having kids because it triggers you for some reason. Like there's a lot of trauma or anxiety when it comes to like union, family. You make your own family, you're good at it when it comes to friends and things like that. But there's only so much community and like that type of energy that you can handle before it starts getting too scary because it can get ripped away from you and you don't like leaving fate up to unknown. But here's the thing, life is full of so many unknowns, and that's the whole reason of having the human experience, is to not know everything around the corner. So a big part of the but here for the yes, you are ready to receive this love, but you need to want it. You need to want it just as much as your heart wants it for you. Because that's the only thing that's holding you back. Your ability to be brutally honest with yourself, because I know that you are capable of holding it, yet there is some healing that needs to be done, and this can only be something that is attainable and that can last, this love, if you are willing to put in the work that it takes to acquire it and maintain it. It's not that you can't get it, you're good at the getting part. You can lock it down if you really want to when it comes, because it's coming. The thing about it is holding it and letting it stay, keeping it close to you, keeping it consistent, because the triggers, the trauma, the avoidant attachment style, there's something here that the second it gets pinged or feels like it needs to go on alert, it shuts you down, it makes you detach, it makes you disconnect from the union, and it can lead you to ghosting, it can lead you to just shutting down entirely, not expressing your feelings, and it can lead you to kind of self-isolating in the sense that, like, what is the point of being in it if you're acting like you're still single in the coping mechanism aspect of it? Does that make sense? And that's the thing that needs to be overcome in order for you to get it, because yes, you are ready to receive it, and like who you are, your person, like there are people out there that want to love you, but you're not letting them. And in order to let them, that also means you have to be willing to move through the turbulent aspects in a relationship that make it long-term and long-lasting, because any long-lasting relationship, no such thing as an effortless one, no such thing as a simple and easy one. There are going to be moments of turbulence, and it's through being able to like have an ability to know how to self-regulate during those moments. So the moments where you feel quote unquote triggered, they don't make you shut down. They don't make you push the person away and say things you don't mean at the time. But I don't really feel like you guys explode. I feel like you guys implode internally. Like the second you feel like you are in danger, or at least your nervous system thinks that you are in danger because of a person, because it's only thinking and referencing past emotional experiences tied to love, it is instantly going to make you say nope, shut you down, and make you start to dissociate, disconnect mentally, emotionally, energetically from the situation. We don't want that anymore, and that's something that needs to be looked at. So that is the but. Okay, I know that was a mouthful, but let us see if we can actually get in even more insight on what's blocking you from being able to fully receive this, because maybe there are more like physical things in the situation too. I did feel like work had a lot to do with it, or just like a busy lifestyle, like you like your routine or something, and it's hard for you to, or you use, okay, I'm sorry, you guys might hate me for this, but I am just the messenger, so don't hate me, okay? I am just channeling what's coming through. Some of you guys might have a lot of quote unquote excuses as a reason for why you can't bring love in, even though you know it can benefit you in a multitude of ways to help you heal this wound. In order to heal it, you have to trust that it stays, but in order to let that evolve and unfold, you have to stay in it. You can't just run away because it starts getting real. So we'll also see the physical things attributing to the blockages from you being able to fully receive it right now, because we did have that but, right? So there's wounds here that aren't fully healed. But let's see if we can even get a deeper core wound from this. So what is blocking pile number 2 from fully being able to receive this love that their heart genuinely wants for them now? So back of the deck is regret, with the word, the past cannot be changed, but the future is still in your hands. Remorse, sorrow, and rue. Okay, I understand that. I don't know why I want to look at the back. Dependency, find strength in self-sufficiency and empowerment. Yep, reliance, okay. You know, I feel like maybe a lot of the things that we're talking about has brought up some of those wounds. And, you know, I don't want you to think that I'm calling you a villain. You're not, love. It's just a trauma response because you're genuinely deep down scared. You're genuinely deep down terrified. And you had to really learn how to, like, what's the word? Fend for yourself. There were moments where people weren't there for you and all you had was you. The card that came out, though, that helps us feed more into this why is the word obscurity. And it says, in the unknown, there's room for endless possibilities, darkness, ambiguity, and mystery. That's what scares you. And I think that's what triggers the anxiety of the past maybe repeating itself again. The only way the past repeats itself, love, or the biggest way you can keep it from happening, is how you approach it moving forward. Are you going to keep reacting the same way you would in the past moving forward? That's something you can control. And it seems to me like that is something that's really important that is blocking you from fully receiving it as of right now. Because we did get a yes, keep that in mind. It's just the but is this 2 of Wands in reverse. You can really go for it if you commit and you stick with it. So now we're going to be getting some tea leaf cards. I do have 2 sets of piles of tea leaf cards, and these are going to help us understand more of the physical things that could be blocking, or it might just actually add even more emphasis on this wound stuff, okay? So let us see. What is blocking pile number 2 from fully receiving this love, regardless of when they come across this reading? What is blocking pile number 2 from fully being able to receive this kind of love that their heart actually wants for them, regardless of when they come across this reading? I want to take this out. Back of the deck here is success, so let's keep that in mind. We're layering again, guys. What is blocking pile number 2 from fully receiving this kind of love that their heart actually wants for them? What is blocking pile number 2 from fully receiving the kind of love that their heart actually wants for them, regardless of when they come across this reading? Okay, we get a lot of cards from this one set. That is interesting. And in the back of the deck, again here, cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life. So success, but then we have cracked cup. You see what I mean? It's like you are in such a good state, like with all these other areas of your life, but like deep down, there's a void that you fill and you try to fill from other areas in your life, but then it just never goes away. And you try to pretend it's like a band-aid to how you're really feeling. And that's never going to change until this is healed. It's a big part of your drive. The thing that helped you drive forward all these years in your life, pile number 2, is the very thing that also deteriorates you from being able to get the love that you deserve. And the love that you say you always wanted, and the one that your heart wants for you too. The one that's really meant for you. So we have rooster. An arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. We have bat. I think that landed on the Nine of Swords here. Take care. Enemies are working against you. Five of Wands, this landed on feather. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. This is very interesting. And then we have ear with good news. Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. And then this landed on isolation. Broken bridge, unsuccessful outcome to a problem. That is so intriguing. Look, we got bridge and then broken bridge. And it's kind of like success and cracked cup. What is blocking you from fully receiving this love? Because we got the yes. You got to be careful. There's something here, right? Someone you know is undependable and insincere. News, ear, that's hearing. Successfully overcoming a problem, but then right next, unsuccessful outcome to a problem. And then a arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. It's like the way that you portray yourself or to your friends or the things you say, the group of people you surround yourself with, they also share similar wounds or they share similar beliefs or they judge you entirely, okay? It's gonna be one of those. Those people, you got to be careful what you share with them and how much you feed information to them. The words you put out there are important when it comes to the things that you're trying to gain out of life or reap out of life. Other people can say things in their mind and still put that energy out there, and it can interfere with the thing that you're trying to get because it's all energy at the end of the day. And I will forever believe that. This healing that is about to commence, or if you start following with this, like if you're still here, if this is something you're determined to do, because I know that you are a go-getter, you are a fighter type personality, pile number 2. Try to keep it on the down low. Be careful, because I feel like there is someone close to you, or there is somebody where you like to share when there's something new going on in your life. Be careful with that person, because I feel like something about this reading or whatever you reaped out of or got out of this reading today for yourself to carry forward when it comes to this journey in general, right? We're talking about what's blocking you from fully receiving it. We're about to dive into, after this, what you have to do to receive the love you want. So whatever comes through that, which I believe has to do a lot with healing, right? We saw a lot of conflicting energy cards from trauma and stuff and strain, emotional strain. Please do not share it until you were really far into the journey or the process, because there is someone that can have high regard in your mind, like what they say matters in some way, and you act like right now maybe a part of you is like, nah, like what I think matters more. But the journey it took for you to get to this mentality of like self-empowerment, pile number 2, I'm gonna be really honest with you, it was built off of a fear-based response way of living life, okay? So you were kind of in survival mode running to do this. You got to enjoy life, yes, I'm not saying that you can't, but the go-getter mentality wasn't like, there wasn't a lot of safety when you were driving there. You had to really force yourself to learn how to find safety in being alone. And that's okay. But we are creatures of socializing. Like, we are meant to be together in groups, right? This person or this group of people, they were kind of like your support system when you were going through these motions of the life. To heal, you're gonna be stripping yourself from that identity that led you to where you are now. The goals, the success, whatever, where you're at right now, you have a good foundation. Like, you're really stable in wherever this is that I'm referring to. Plug in this stuff that I'm saying as you fit into your own unique situation, right? Everyone's situation is different that picked this file. Once you start exploring that, or the process is going to take for you to start to explore that, you got to solely listen to what your inner world's saying, like what your heart's saying. Like, you're going to have a gut feeling that this is something that you want to explore, and you got to be really certain with yourself on it. Don't talk to people about this decision because it will interfere with you following through fully. I'm just picturing you starting to develop self-doubt if you're not careful with who you share these announcements with. Because I don't know, I'm hearing announcement, like you like to announce things before you start, but it can also interfere with the process, you following through with it, because maybe they'll say certain things, or they're going to try to push you to keep going back into this more hyper independence lifestyle or mentality again. And I'm going to be very honest with you, people are in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime, and it takes moving through life to find out
what they're there for. If this person is someone that you believe shares the similar mindset as you can't force them to heal. They need to see you move through your own journey, and that is the best way to help them. You know what I mean? Because you can't force someone that doesn't want to be saved, and I feel like they will try to keep you in that mindset with them. If there's something you guys have in common when it comes to these wounds, you know, maybe you guys got along together originally because you trauma bonded in some way. You know, when you start to heal the trauma, what else can you bond with or about? Does that make sense? So just keep that in mind moving forward. I think there was a little bit of a warning here that wanted to come through for you guys. So with that, let us now see the most important thing of all, right? What specifically do you have to do to receive the love you want? Because we got the yes, we got to see the why, but maybe we can get even more specific and laser target focused on this, okay, for you guys? So we're going to be using my final tarot deck for today, which is my Star Tarot deck. And then we're going to be using my Heal Yourself deck and my Sacred Soul Messages cards, okay? So just give me a moment to shuffle and get all these cards out and ready for you guys, because I shuffle pretty slow because of this thing. And then I will meet you back, okay? All right, guys, so I have done all the shuffling that I needed to do for this video. And I got your beautiful pile over here of cards when it comes to the Oracle for what you have to do to receive the love you want. And then we also got lots and lots of tarot for you on this side. And then back of the deck energies that we received, the decks that wanted to be back of the decks, was the Heal Yourself deck, which is self-sabotage. And again, for some reason, I'm looking at this card. You see these two, like, they kind of look like Grim Reapers holding her. For some reason, this is giving me the idea of like who you surround yourself with, you become, and like you need to be careful with it. And I feel like deep down with this owl, you know this, like you're aware. And then we also have the Hanged one, the Hanged Man. Underneath it is the Ace of Pentacles though. So it's like you're currently right now, I feel like you're having like a big epiphany moment, or you're realizing something huge that's going to significantly aid you on this journey. And you need to keep that in mind. Like this is very, very, very crucial. So before we dive into all the tarot I have on the side over here, let's actually look at the significator cards that wanted to come through. So there were two significator cards for the tarot that wanted to come through. And so again, the significator cards here are going to be like the theme influencing all the cards that we're about to put out on the table for in terms of what you have to do to receive the love you want, okay? So the first one you guys have is the Ace of Cups. I love this deck, like the images and the meaning, the symbolism, crazy, along with the Hierophant. So initially, instantly, we have the dove coming through twice. And this is a circle. Like, this is fixed energy, stubborn, bull-like energy, right? It's ruled by Taurus. But you're meant to do the thing that you know is best for your greater good right now. And what's best for your greater good and well-being, mental health, the bigger picture of your greater good, pile number 2, is doing the thing that your gut is telling you got to start working on right now. Whatever that is, whatever felt triggering when you saw the word self-sabotage, what is that thing that pops up in your mind? That is the thing that is going to be the first step to helping you conquer this and start getting the love that you want. Even if you don't want to admit it to yourself, this is a love that you deeply crave, and your nervous system also deeply craves, because it's the very key that's going to help you heal this hyper-independence thing. Let us see. All right. So first up for Oracle cards we have, before we dive into the tarot, for Sacred Soul Message, it says, sing like the birds, not worrying about what others think. Be yourself, share your heart, speak your truth. Okay. Maybe you started to have these gut feelings prior to even clicking into this video, like thinking about self-growth and like wanting to heal, and like maybe you even brought it up to the people that I warned you about or said, or the person, whoever it is, and then they like judged it, and then you kind of pushed it to the side. Well, I just wanted to share that, but you know, obviously if that's the case, don't give a damn what they think. Because again, this is kind of giving me that Ace of Cups picture. Look, it kind of looks the same. It's a microphone, I know, but look how they look similar. And we had the Ace of Cups come up earlier, so that's a trinity again of Ace of Cups energy. The other Sacred Soul Message card you received is laugh as much as you breathe, love as long as you live, have fun, enjoy life, nurture relationships. Oh, so maybe it isn't even about keeping your mouth shut, but honoring your boundaries as you move through this journey. You know, what you shared already, you shared, you know, you can't take it back, you can't reverse it. But, you know, being respectful, but also respectful to yourself and what you truly want. You know, living with integrity. That's something important here coming through when it comes to like how you interact with these people moving forward and things of that nature. For a Heal Yourself card that you guys received, you have the number 18 with Say What You Mean. Again, it's giving in to that energy of like putting yourself first. And I know these are chopsticks that are holding her hair up over here, but for some reason, this keeps giving me this energy of like someone stabbing you in the back. And it kind of feels kind of nasty. I know I don't like that feeling, but you know, just putting your foot down in some way is like really important here. And I feel like you guys know what this is referring to, so I shouldn't even have to get to the bottom of it. And then we also have the number 11 coming through with take off your mask or masks. Self-sabotage, yes. The mask could be referring to these Grim Reapers as well. And then lastly, for the last oracle card you guys received, before we go into the tarot, you have look for the answer inside your question. Be honest with yourself. You know the truth. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you guys know what this is referring to. So I'm going to keep it as that. And then we're going to go right into the tarot, okay? Let us do this. So this is the first card that wanted to come out. So we have, I think I counted 12 cards in total here. I know it's a lot. I wasn't planning on it, but Source does what Source wants. And so this is the first card that wanted to start us off. We're going to be doing a set of 6 cards, so 2 rows of 6, all right, on top of each other. So the first 6 is going to be the main answer, and then the bottom 6 is going to be the clarifiers to the cards on top. Let me just slide this up because I now realize that I am layering everything. Okay, so the first card to start us off, we have the 4 of Cups. This is literally giving me like deep self-reflection mode, like meditative state. It's like a healthy sulking. I don't even think that's the right way to say that sentence because I think sulking is something like kind of more like dramatic emotion, but like there's a healthy way of release that I'm picking up off this card. Like maybe you don't even share how you really feel about things, and that's going to get released and healed. That wound is going to get healed through the steps that you take right now that we're going to start to unravel together. The next card up we have is Temperance. There we go. Temperance coming through with the first major arcana for what you got to do. I love that because we were picturing it like crazy earlier. Thirdly, we have the 10 of Cups. The 7 of Wands. Why do I feel like I want to cry for you guys? My heart. The Sun. I love this Sun card. Look how cute the little baby sun. And then the final card for this first row is the Knight of Cups. Okay. Before we dive into this, I want to get the clarifiers out. I'm so sorry. I just hit that camera so hard. Okay. All right. So the card that is clarifying the 4 of Cups is the 5 of Pentacles.
Clarifying the Temperance card is the Two of Pentacles. Clarifying Ten of Cups is Judgment. That's what I'm saying, like putting your foot down, like you know what you want. I think you've been afraid like of what other people think of you if you start wanting this more. Clarifying the Seven of Wands is the World card. Yeah, putting your foot down. That's what I'm saying. I forgot to shut off. I have like a million alarms that go off during the day, guys, so I am sorry if that scared you. And then clarifying the last two cards, we have the Sun clarified by the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords has come through, I think, in every single tarot deck that we have used. I don't know if you've noticed that. And then clarifying the Knight of Cups is the Tower card. I love the imagery in these cards, guys. You're finally like putting what you truly desire first, or at least that's what you have to do. You know what you want. Your heart knows what you want deep down, but you have had to like reason with it for the longest time. And maybe you used to think that you weren't worthy of it. Maybe you used to think that like you weren't good enough for it because of the past and how you would handle things. But you need to know that you are. And I keep having this image of someone like running away from something. I don't know what that is. It's gonna be different to every single person that picked this pile because, you know, that can mean thousands of different things. But they want you to stop running. What you have to do to receive the love you want, pile number 2, you need to stop running from the very thing that terrifies the bejesus out of you. And you need to face it. And you need to tell it the thing that you've been wanting to tell it for such a long time now. I like want to cry and I have no reason why. I'm picturing someone choking back tears because it's so hard to get the words out, and maybe your voice is even going to crack. It's going to feel croaky because it's like you're trying to force some sort of like truth out of your literal throat. But once you do that, instantly you're going to feel like there is some balance of scales like coming back to like harmony within you. And it's going to start feeling easier and easier and easier to start honoring yourself and what you really want, which is this. It's all of this, and being brutally honest with yourself that this is what you want and it's not any other thing. Regardless of how scary it feels, like I'm telling you, the truth is going to set you free, no matter how corny and cliche and overused that statement is. It's exactly that. And you already know. I feel like you have had enough confirmation throughout this reading to know that this is exactly what it is you need to do. But not only that, doing this is what helps you take your first step to healing, because then you're going to finally recognize that this has been an ongoing issue for a while that you need to start looking at. One thing specifically that I would challenge you guys to do is to look at yourselves in the mirror. I know it's corny, but do it when you're alone and you feel safe, guys. You don't have to do this right away. Do it when you feel ready to. I would encourage you guys, invite you guys to take a look at yourselves in the mirror. When you're sitting with this feeling that's been ruminating, this desire, this thing that you've been fighting to not look at and see. Once you got it in your mind's eye, look at yourself in the mirror, go to the mirror, and see the words that want to come out. Say them out loud to yourself. See what happens. See what emotions come up. I know it sounds weird, but there's something here that, like, your inner world, yourself, like your literal you, wants to see you say to yourself. Like, they want you to validate it for good now. Like, you've been gaslighting yourself so flipping hard with this thing. And to receive the love that you want, pile number 2, you need to give it to yourself first through taking this first step. And I feel like when you say it to yourself, like you're going to be able to instill it into yourself so that when you bring it out into the outer world and start setting that boundary or saying that with the other things around you, it's going to be hard. You're going to feel shaky. It's going to be scary. But at the same time, it's going to make it like you're doing the steps, and it's not supposed to feel easy. It's not supposed to feel familiar.
doing uncomfortable things are going to feel uncomfortable, and especially because it's new. This is unknown territory that you have yet to explore within yourself, and this is just instilling that self-empowerment. This is instilling more independence, but the healthy kind, the kind where you're honoring your truth and you're not honoring the narrative, the story, the victim mindset, the wound that got you to where you are now. Because like I said, you have had success, you have had things that you were able to get done or get to at life, or you've had experiences that were great, memorable things that you've gotten to do since then. But those things weren't the real thing, and you know that. The real thing is something that has to do with this love. And in order to get it, you need to be honest. And the first person you should be honest with is you. So that exercise, I really do invite you guys to do. I really believe that it will be helpful. After the can of worms is out, or the cat is out of the bag. I know I feel so old saying these like metaphors. After that is happening, I will encourage you. There is something that wants to come through, like a channeled mantra affirmation that actually was the very first mantra that my therapist recommended for me to use when I first started seeing her, which was like almost 6 years ago, or 6 years ago at that. It was 2020 when I started seeing her. So maybe almost 6 years ago. What I want you to start doing, I feel like once the cat is out of the bag, there's going to be a lot of intrusive thoughts, and your brain's going to try to fight you because of the old. So whenever you have emotional memories come up that you know aren't happening in your present anymore, you need to say to yourself, that was then, this is now. Okay? Just like that, it's simple to repeat, simple to say. That was then, this is now. Your now is your journey to empowerment, because your now is where you are, and you're choosing what to do with your now every second of every minute, and that's empowering on its own. So recognize that your future is in your hands by what you decide to do moving forward. You don't have to give that power away anymore, my love, with getting the acceptance or the validation from other people, the approval of what you do from other people. We don't need that anymore. See, that was unhealthy, and I think that was a mechanism to feed into some self-sabotage that may have been happening in the past. But that was the very thing that was keeping you lone wolf mentality. That was the very thing that was keeping you from opening your heart up to true love, real love, love that can come from not just romantic, but friendships and real things, like the soul tribe, the soul tribe type of love, the familial type of love. And in order to see it or get it, you need to align with it, even if other people aren't going to come along on the ride with you. You know what I mean? So I do want to take a moment too to give you guys a little bit of a personal invitation here. If this is something that you do feel drawn or called to do, I do offer free soul clarity calls for people that are interested in maybe potentially working one-on-one with me down the road. So, you can always click on my link down below in my description box. And I think it talks about like additional resources more than readings. I offer more than readings. I do offer personal readings right now. But, if you're looking for deeper work, maybe to work on this wound, this thing that has been like an itch that you can't scratch, feel free to book a soul clarity call, and we can see if doing one-on-one work together would be something that would work for both of us, okay? Maybe we could be a good match. So, absolutely no pressure there, but I did want to reach out my hand to you, beautiful souls, in case that is something that you feel called to do, okay? Just know the option is always there. So, to wrap up your reading, what we are going to be looking at, finally, my love, is your final messages from source, along with some practical tools that you can take with you after your reading is complete along the way to help continue to encourage you to receive this love. And so we're going to be getting those tools through my essential coping skills deck, which is like exercises for stress and anxiety relief. You guys ended up getting 2 exercises here. And then you also got 1 self-discovery question. And this is a question that I did pull out, and I did ask source. These are going to be things that are going to help you receive this love even further, okay? So we're going to be looking at those. And then these are your final messages from source, along with the animal medicine card that is meant for you, the animal medicine that you're meant to carry with you moving forward. We're going to be reading that to finish it up in the booklet, okay? So to start us up, let us look at your soul messages and then the exercises, and then we'll wrap it up with your spirit animal medicine, okay? First up, my beautiful soul. Face challenges together. Unity, teamwork, resilience. I'm not going to explain these. I want you and your brain, my beautiful soul, to plug in the information that makes sense. Your brain's going to figure out what this message means for you. Practice self-love, self-care, self-respect, self-worth, boundaries. And lastly, practice patience, waiting, enduring, perseverance, and trust.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it because patience came through. And I did want to say it earlier, but I normally don't like to make these assumptions. Some of you guys, like the love, might have to do with somebody that you walked away from because you were scared, and like you have a group of people that are like pushing you away from them, and you want to like go back to them and you want to apologize. Like, do what your heart wants. Who gives a shit what anyone else thinks, okay? I just want to make that clear. If any of those, that what I just said resonated, okay? If it doesn't, let it slide. I wasn't talking to you, my love, okay? That message was not for you. And for the exercises.
So these are going to be additional practices and questions for you to reflect on, and this is going to help you even further to receive the love you want, okay? So for the first exercise you guys have received, with these cards, I do highly recommend that you pause, screenshot, or take notes, okay? I'm gonna still read it out loud though. So the first one says social sharing. Shared joy is a double joy. Shared sorrow is a half sorrow. When we share our true selves, the good and the bad, we let ourselves be seen while creating space for others to open up. Share something about yourself with someone today. Next up, 5 senses of emotions. Pick an emotion that you would like to get better at handling. How would you describe it as a color, weather, landscape, sound, food? And for a question for further self-discovery, life. How can you create more valuable opportunities in your life? How can you create more valuable opportunities in your life?
I did want to get the back of the decks out for these because I also felt like they were going to be important.
An additional like question and exercise. So let me just share those. I didn't do this with pile number 1, but for you guys, I felt like it was important. So the final question, where did your recent important insight come from? Where did your recent important insight come from? And then the final back of the deck, it was an exercise. Circle of control. Make a list of your worries and fears. Draw 2 circles. Sort your list by putting what you can control or change in one circle and what you can't control or change in the other. Which circle is giving you the most anxiety? Is it controllable? And now, to wrap it up, to finish it all off, the animal medicine that you're meant to take away with you moving forward, and we're going to read about it in the booklet, is snake with the number 6. Confirmation, the number 6 is of significance to you. Highly recommend that you guys look up the meaning of 6 and seeing it multiple times. There is an angel message there for you. All right, let us get the book. Okay, so let us see. Snake, come crawling. There's fire in your eyes. Bite me, excite me. I'll learn to realize. The poison transmuted brings eternal flame. Open me to heaven to heal me again. Transmutation. Snake medicine people are very rare. Their initiation involves experiencing and living through multiple snake bites, which allows them to transmute all poisons, be they mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. The power of snake medicine is the power of creation, for it embodies sexuality, psychic energy, alchemy, reproduction, and ascension or immortality. The transmutation of the life, death, rebirth cycle is exemplified by the shedding of snake skin. It is the energy of wholeness, cosmic consciousness, and the ability to experience anything willingly and without resistance. It is the knowledge that all things are equal in creation, and that those things which might be experienced as poison can be eaten, ingested, integrated, and transmuted if one has the proper state of mind. Thoth, the Atlantean, who later returned as Hermes and was the father of alchemy, temperance, used the symbology of two snakes intertwining around a sword to represent healing. Complete understanding and acceptance of the male and female within each organism creates a melding of the two into one, which is yin-yang and twin flame energy, thereby producing divine energy. This medicine teaches you on a personal level that you are a universal being. Through accepting all aspects of your life, you can bring about the transmutation of the fire medicine. This fire energy, when functioning on the material plane, creates passion, desire, procreation, and physical vitality. On the emotional plane, it becomes ambition, creation, resolution, and dreams. On the mental plane, it becomes intellect, power, charisma, and leadership. When the snake energy reaches the spiritual plane, it becomes wisdom, understanding, wholeness, and connection to the Great Spirit. If you have chosen this symbol, there is a need within you to transmute some thought, action, or desire so that wholeness may be achieved. This is heavy magic, but remember, magic is no more than a change in consciousness. Become the magician or the enchantress. Transmute the energy and accept the power of the fire. So there you have it. I know that was a lot, guys. But you are a very powerful being. You can get this. You know that you are capable of it. That's why we had a yes, but you know that this is what you want. That's why you had the Hierophant ruling here for what you got to do. I know for a fact that everyone that's selected this pile is going to be able to fulfill this prophecy for themselves, because it literally feels like a prophecy. I don't like that word. I don't believe that there is things we're destined for. I think we create our own destiny, but this is something that you're creating as your own prophecy as we speak. Like, you know that you're meant for this. You feel it in your bones. Believe that. Feel that. Listen to that. With the Hangman, I feel like you know this deep down. So pile number 2, I want to let you know from the bottom of my heart that I send you so much unconditional love. I believe in you, really. Like, I am so proud of you for getting to this point. If you are still listening with me, you're still here, you know, you got everything you needed. And not only that, but you didn't skip steps, because some people, when they hear my readings, they get triggered and they click out because they don't want to hear what I have to say. They don't want to hear what source has to tell them. Some of the messages can be hard to hear. And I just looked up at my camera and I see the numbers 333. Okay, so you are a master manifester with the number 33, and then with the additional 3, there is change, but also action that you are going and are about to do right now. So, you know, there is a lot of little steps you can do to help you on this journey to getting the love that you want to receive. And I have absolutely no doubt that you will be able to achieve it. Literally, my whole bet is on you guys. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for choosing me to do this reading for you, for clicking on this video in the first place, you know, like watching to, like, literally all the little things you guys do to interact with a like, a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a comment, a share. All those things helps push my channel out there, helps these videos get seen to reach the people that need to hear these things the most. And not only that, but you are helping support the mission that I literally created this entire platform on, which is on healed people who help heal this world. I really am trying to build a community of like-minded individuals that want to become the most healed version of themselves, and they don't want to hold themselves back anymore. So if you are one of those people, if you resonate with that, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And, you know, hopefully I will see you in my next readings to come. Bye. Hello, my beautiful, beautiful pile number threes. If this is the card that aided you in being able to select this pile that's named the Lion and the Deer with the number 22, then you already know that this reading is 100% meant for you. In reference to whether or not you are truly, genuinely ready for the love that you say you want.
When I look at the significator card that aided you in selecting this pile, like right off the bat, before we even dive into the booklet that goes along with this deck, because it has a poem with this, and I want to understand the meaning of this card in more depth and detail with you. The first thing that stands out to me isn't the light
Around the person, but more so the darkness here. There's an intense darkness area in the top left corner of this card. And what's interesting about it is it looks like it's like a spiral going into even darker abyss in the center. But when I first looked at it, the first thing that popped through my mind was a rose. So when we think about roses, they are very gorgeous. They can come in a bunch of different colors. And the thing that's interesting about roses is they are the very common, typical flower that people will use to kind of be romantic with their partners. Like it's the common go-to thing. You know what I mean? Another thing about roses is that roses do have a tendency to be spray painted into different colors or genetically modified. It's possible to have a rose for any color really nowadays because it's so easy to just get them that way or painted. And there's a lot of modifications is what I'm trying to say when I think about roses, but not only that, there's a lot of preparation that comes into roses as well when it comes to getting like a bouquet of them at a florist's shop because, you know, like they try to make sure you don't like stab your finger on their thorns and things of that nature. There's a process and they're also very, very delicate. Like the petals can very easily fall off. There's fragility here. And when it comes to the love that you say you want, and whether or not you are ready to receive it, there is an energy of delicateness here that I cannot ignore. It feels like when it comes to your love life, that area of your life, when it comes to love, you know, like how we have a whole wheel of life and we have like our personal life, our social life, home life, love life. Like for you, that area, pile number three, it's very complicated. I don't know how else to say it. Complex, complicated, other than the words that I chose. There's good, there's bad. There's highs and there's lows. There's sweetness and there's sour and just bitter ick. And because of it, it brings a lot of intensity onto the table. Because of this, your love life has been the biggest thing that has led to transformative times for you and big pivotal moments in your life. I don't know why, but what channeled through me just now that I kind of held back on saying was career. So I don't know if that is going to resonate with everybody. I'm just being the messenger. Also, make sure that you guys are taking notes. I have a really strong feeling that this reading is going to be really important for you guys to look back at, okay? So looking at the number 22, the number 2 is about soul unions. It's about trust. It's about partnership, harmony, balance, all those good things. I'm also thinking now, 2, for some reason, I was like thinking in Major Arcana, what's the number 2? It's the High Priestess. There's something that gets unlocked within you in your love life that any other area of your life is not going to be able to unlock. But there's a fight here. Like, I don't know why when I channel your energy pile number 3, it feels like you're still fighting it. You're guarded, you're defensive, I'm picturing someone who's like literally like blocking their face from getting like hit or something, or they're like just scared. And not even scared, but they feel like they need to like constantly put like a blockade in front of them in between like you and love. I don't know what that is, but let us definitely take a look and see what your poem is that goes along with the card that lets you select this pile. And then we're going to just dive right into the first set of questions, okay? So let us now take a look. Let's get to it's for card 22. Oh, wow. This one has a lot. Okay. So let's take a look. 101. Like, I feel like there's something important. Okay. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. Oh, I didn't even know maybe that is supposed to look like a rose. When you fly toward heaven, you become graceful like the angel.
If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair in yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. To be honest, no clue what that means. Like, I kind of get it, but I don't. So let's see. There's complexity here is what I'm trying to say. So it kind of is feeding into that. You are the lion and the deer. You are bold, fierce, and vibrant, and you are silent, sweet, and gentle. If I should come to you in arrogance, you roar at me until my falsehood quakes in fear. So terrified it gives up the game, and love's conquest happens yet again. If I should come to you in surrendered adoration, open to whatever you may wish, you are so gentle with me. Like a deer, you offer me nothing to fear or resist, so that I too become sweet and gentle, longing to submit to your tender ministrations. So then, I do not fear my own errors. For even if I stumble into arrogance, I shall be made wiser by your magnificent roar and become humble. Even if I become weak, I shall draw, I cannot say this word, succor, evoking the tenderness in you. Whatever is needed to keep me true to love is what you give me, for you are the holy lion, proud and mighty, and the sweet deer gentle at the mildest breezes of spring. Okay, let us now see. Okay, there we go. This oracle brings you a special message. You are rediscovering a part of yourself that has been lost or submerged underneath more practical concerns. Of course, if practicality is about survival, then learning to be your true self is most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul. You are asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be that talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. The discomfort may be around how those talents are best expressed, about overcoming shame, guilt, doubt, or other judgments. It may even be about who you are, if you now admit your talent or other emerging personality traits. Perhaps what is being unearthed in you now is darker: your sacred rage, refusal to accept disrespect in your life, your inability to tolerate lies and deceptions. Well then, you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is to be both in the world. You are not becoming contradictory or hypocritical. You are becoming a whole. The guidance this oracle brings you is that you shall prosper most now if you are willing to unbecome what you have believed yourself to be. It was never really true anyway, that view. It was partial at best, and just a view, an identity, not a genuine reality. Some of your previous sense of self shall likely come with this transition into the fuller experience of your being, and some of that previous identity shall be shed as far too limiting. It just won't feel true for you anymore if it ever did. Any crisis or confusion this brings you shall be temporary fuel to ignite the divine fires within. They simmer into life, cooking you from within, bringing all of your flavors, spicy and sweet, bitter and sour, into perfect balance so that your being, your presence, becomes an exquisite dish served up as a divine feast. You shall become nourishment for the world in perfect balance. Your being will hold all, for it holds all within it. It will deny nothing and become a tonic to feed every taste, every appetite, every hunger, and every deficiency. What an extraordinary sublime meal you shall be. How your presence shall nourish the world, and it all begins with shedding the either and the or, and recognizing instead the all. With such wild permission for unconditional love, you shall thrive in your beingness and feed the hungry world with a meal complete, satisfying, and exquisite. Okay. Marriage, union, but of the self. This is where it starts to get interesting, because there has been a lot of lessons for you. Possibly the thorns on a rose symbolize each experience you've had with people in your life when it came to romantic connections, or the journey to trying to find one up until now felt that way. Like you've been shedding, you've been starting to slowly like rediscover who you are. And what I mean by rediscover, like you thought you discovered yourself fully in the past, and then it's like going through this, being on this search, or this experience with your love life has led you to realizing that you're not everything that you thought you were way more, and you still have yet to understand it fully. So again, very complex, very in-depth. Already there's a lot coming up, but we're here to get to the bottom of something, and it's whether you are ready for the love you say you want.
To do this, we are gonna first start by diving in to the very first question that we're going to be looking at today, which is what kind of love does your heart actually and genuinely want for you? So I already did the honor of getting the cards out and set up just so it saves us some time. We are going to be using my transparent tarot if you haven't noticed it over there. These are all the cards that we did end up receiving for you guys. I believe there's 4 I counted in total. And we also got a significator card pairing that is going to be giving us the immediate or the influencing theme that's going to be kind of laying over all the cards that we're going to dive into for this first question, okay? So for this significator, all the cards are kind of laid up on top of each other. For here, let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. We have the 4 of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords, the Fool, and the Page of Swords. And I will say, I feel like you guys already, like out of all the piles I've done for this reading topic so far, have received the most swords this quick, like this fast, right out the gate. This is the back of the deck energy. It's going to look a little confusing because everything is backwards, but from what I'm seeing, what stands out to me, from what I am interpreting, I feel Chariot energy, King of Swords energy, 3 of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. And I also feel like I'm seeing the Hanged Man somewhere. You have gone through a lot of turmoil when it comes to figuring out the kind of love that you actually deserve and desire out of this life experience. And what I mean by that, perhaps there's been like a lot of moments or experiences in your life journey so far where you got a taste of like so many different kinds of love. And you thought that that's what you wanted in the moment. And then as it started to unravel, things got uglier or things got more in depth, more serious. And you started seeing in between the lines things that you didn't realize were there because you jumped headfirst into them without really thinking. And you gained so much wisdom through your experiences because of that. But now, because of that, it's led you to shift your entire perspective on how you want to show up in love. And especially when it comes to protecting your peace or protecting like your beliefs, or there's like a little bit of like rigidity here that you want to protect though. Like it's a rigidity that is important to what you identify as or what makes you feel true to yourself. Like there's something here that's like a non-negotiable that's like you figured out and that you want to like kind of protect with your entire heart and soul. When it comes to the theme, before we start looking at the cards here that we received, for the love or the kind of love that your heart really wants for you, pile number 3, it seems to me it wants something fresh, something that feels refreshing is what I'm hearing, and something you get to learn from, learn more, grow more from, because I don't know where you're at when it comes to your love life, pile number 3. Some of you guys listening to this might actually be in like a marriage right now and you feel like the marriage hasn't been doing you well, or you've been in a long-term relationship or long distance. There's something here where it feels stale and like old. Like it's getting old is what I'm hearing. Like the dynamic of your situation in life right now and your heart, the kind of love it wants for you is something refreshing, something new. Something that gives you like an opportunity to feel young again, but young again in the right ways. Not in a way that's like chaotic, but also carefree at the same time. You feel like you've had to follow rules for too long. And that's where it gets interesting, you know, because I did share to you the complexity. Like it feels like you've gone through a lot in your love life, but you still crave some of the intensity. I'm curious. I'm so curious to see where this is going to go because it's really showing me a lot here just by looking at the theme. But it keeps showing me that you've took away so much wisdom from the past. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe your guides might actually be calling you out in this reading. Some of you guys might feel like you're stuck, or they are noticing that you are stuck in a self-sabotaging relationship, a relationship that is feeling like you're never being heard or you're always giving in. And this doesn't even have to do with love life, but just where you're at in life right now, maybe with another person of interest. So let us now, I wanted to show you this actually on the side. So these are the back of the deck energies that felt called to come through. So we got the, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this rune correctly, the weird rune. Interconnectedness of past, present, and future. That's what I'm saying. Like, you are at a point where you're sort of going in deep reflection stage a reflection, having a reflection moment when it comes to this journey you've gone through in your love life and how you want to start showing up because of what you've gone through. Some of you guys might actually be like writing things down a lot more, or I feel like you're gonna start doing that very, very, very soon. There's this feeling of somebody who's just starting to gain understanding in the next couple of weeks moving forward after you listen to this reading. Like there's something here that you're gonna have clarity on, reach a revelation on, a revelational truth within you, but it needed to like kind of simmer and like marinate inside you for a little bit. So, you know, just keep that in mind moving forward. That's going to be something that's going to be happening. All right. And then paired with it was Imagination with Inner Child from my Ask Your Guides Oracle deck. So, along with that, it's just, again, someone who's sort of deeply thinking about the past and doing some deep reflecting, asking themselves, like, how do they want things to be different moving forward? Is this what I really want? And you're starting to protect your truth more than you ever had before. Like you're really trying to align your life with true integrity, which is very, very, very beautiful. So let us now continue looking with the first oracle cards before we move into the tarot. The rune you received here in terms of the love, the kind of love your heart wants for you. Pile number 3 is the Uru's rune. And it says, physical strength and speed, untamed potential, a time of great energy and health, freedom, energy, action, courage, strength, tenacity, understanding, and wisdom. Again, this like brand new energy. There's a little bit of carefree energy here for the kind of love your heart wants for you. You're craving freedom. And the Awaz rune with transportation may represent a horse, car, plane, boat, or other vehicle, movement, and change for the better. That's what I'm saying. Some of you guys might actually be stuck in something right now. And the love that your heart wants for you is not the one you're in. They want you to move forward. Maybe you're mentally preparing for it too. There's so many different ways this reading could go. So let me know in the comments down below if you ended up selecting this pile, and feel free to share with me your story. And for the final oracle card we received, we have Risk with Joy Guides and the number 43. Which also adds to 7. In the back of the deck was 7. So, like I said, remember the Fool is about taking a risk. And maybe you were playing it safe for too long. Maybe that's why you have so many sword cards. And this isn't what you really want. It's what other people want for you. There's just this feeling of like deception, and you learned a lot during this season in your life. And now it's like you know it, like where you want to go, but you're still having trouble accepting it entirely. Maybe you've been daydreaming about it as well as another thing that's coming through. You feel like, I don't know if the feeling of unworthiness is coming through or just fear. But let us keep going and see if we can keep feeding into this story here for what the love is that your heart wants for you. So for the first up, oh, I didn't tell you. So we have 14 cards. We're going to be doing a set of 7 pairs of cards going in one column across. What that means is we're going to be lying 2 cards on top of each other in a set of 7, okay? So first up, we have the 3 of Wands. Pairing with it is the King of Wands. Oops. Okay, those wanted to be next. Next up for the second pair. Oh, make sure you guys are taking notes. I did say that earlier. It's because I layer all my cards up on this reading, okay? Next up, we have the 8 of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups. Okay. Next up, we have the Knight of Pentacles with the 6 of Cups. Then the Ace of Swords with the Lovers. The 9 of Cups with the 4 of Swords. I'm hearing I need space. I want space. So what is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Why do I feel like I want to do it like this?
Okay, change of plans. I don't know why Source wants me to do it this way, but we're going to do it this way. I don't know how this reading is going to set itself up. This is the significator influencing theme for everything we've dived into so far. But I think I have a final set of 4 cards. These 4 cards want to be set up 2 pairs at the top. Let's see if it's going to be a mini message adding into this. I don't know. Let's see how Source wants us to do this. The Hermit with the 10 of Wands. And then the final pairing is the 3 of Cups with the 5 of Wands. Okay, now I get why Source wanted me to do it this way. This is what you've been feeling. Okay, so that feeling of not being worthy that I was channeling earlier or sensing, picking up on, there's this feeling of guilt or shame. I don't know why that's coming through. Some of you guys might have ended up doing something that you do regret or have regret in the past, and you're trying to make sure it doesn't happen again, or you were the one that got played. But for most of you, also another thing that's coming through, I don't know why, you know, like the title of this video is Are You Ready for the Love You Say You Want? So it just doesn't make sense to me why this is showing to me. Some of you guys are already in a relationship, or you're in something that doesn't know what it is yet. Maybe it doesn't have a title and you're interested in something else. I don't know what this is, but there's something new and exciting that is trying to trickle its way in, and you're having realizations about how you've been feeling for a while. This is something that's been going on for a while. And the type of love that your heart wants for you is something, so the number 333 may be of significance to you, but it's something new and fresh, refreshing. That's what I was saying before. Something that you can learn and gain more experience or wisdom in. Things that you're not able to gain in the area you're at now. Newness wants to come into your life because it feels like a breath of fresh air for you. But there's still something that's holding you back from being able to fully get there. But the love that your heart wants for you is one that grows with you, that wants the same things, that is long-term, long-standing, and is willing to always choose each other. Like a love that's always willing to choose each other, like between 2 people, in the sense that whatever can arise, there is an opportunity for really good communication to happen, where you're not afraid to express yourself. Like you can state your boundaries, be exactly who you are, and the person will honor them and want to work on them with you. Like that's something that's really important that your guides or your heart wants for you in reference to the type of love. And I don't know why I keep feeling like you're in a situation that feels like you always have to be on guard or something, like protecting yourself, or you feel like you're on like survival mode right now in your life. Pile number 3. But it's like the love that your heart wants for you is the complete opposite of where you're at right now, or where you've been. Let's say that. Because some of you guys, I feel like you're in the midst of some sort of transformation. Some of you guys listening to this might not actually be in a relationship. It might have been like right after one, and now you're like in some weird integration period where you're not exactly certain the exact thing you're looking for, but you also know for certain that you don't want what you used to have. You know what I mean? So take it as it resonates and like cherry pick the things that resonate, leave what doesn't. Because there's like a lot, I feel like maybe a lot of people ended up selecting this pile. Regardless, this love is something that stands the test of time, that feels like you can grow, and both people are willing to keep showing up no matter how hard it can get. That's the beauty of it. And because of that, it feels like you're not always carrying the weight, and that's something that you always had to do in the past, and that's what your heart wants for you. In terms of the love it wants for you is the opposite of what you've had. This one feels exciting. There's like a nice balance of like youthfulness to it, but also like maturity and like wisdom you can gain. And that's why it's really cool, because there's a lot of self-development potential with this type of love. So now let's take a look to see exactly if you are ready to receive it. Yes or no, right? Let's get that yes or no question out of the way. And I already did shuffle these sets of cards. So we're going to be using, I hate trying to pronounce this deck, but it's like In2I Tarot. And then we also have the Love Oracle, What's the Vibe cards, and you guys actually ended up getting 3. So I found that very interesting because you guys are the only pile that ended up getting 3 of these kinds. So we're going to be doing that. And then this is actually going to be my Before Tarot deck. And these sets of cards are actually going to be giving us the why in reference to the exact answer, the yes or no, or maybe, you know, it depends. But we're going to get as much detail as possible on whether or not you're ready to receive it, okay? And we're going to understand the why behind it, because I can't just leave you guys hanging, right? So to do that, let us get the straight up answer out of the way. I am very curious to see what it is. And then let's dive into it.
So, oh, you guys received the bonus card in this deck. So we're only looking at the card, the words that are upright. So it says waxing moon, making progress. Timing 1 to 2 weeks, shifting consciousness, gaining strength, final steps, increase. Are you ready to receive it? Not yet. The waxing moon is a moon when you're starting to set your intentions and you're sending your hopes and desires into the world. It's really the moment before you start taking serious action. Like it feels like you're starting to prepare, or at least your energy is as you listen to this reading. So I'm hearing not yet. You did actually get numbers. And what's actually really interesting, I think I mentioned in the next couple of weeks, you're going to have a revelational truth come through. And it says in 1 to 2 weeks. So, keep that in mind. This is a timeless reading. So that is very, very intriguing to me. But let's see if we can keep adding in for further confirmation of the answer being not yet. Because it's like a yes, but a not yet. Not right now. Let's see what these cards say. So next up, you guys also received exhausted, and it says burned out, burdened, and empty. That makes a lot of sense here with the Hermit and the Ten of Wands, because that pairing of cards up here, that's what you've been feeling, and this is the love your heart wants. Now I get why they set it up like that. Next up, feminine energy with the words gentleness, nurturing, and mothering. That is something, I don't know why this card feels so negative though. Like I'm holding it, it's supposed to feel light and cute. And like there's a woman who's like pregnant holding her partner and they're just like so in love and you can see it on their face. But this feels so, like the word that stands out to me the most in this card is mothering. And it feels icky and I don't know why. So let's keep going. For the final What's the Vibe card, we have masked with hiding, concealing, and deception. Deception came through again. We had the Seven of Swords up here. So very intriguing that this is the way it ends when it comes to the Oracle for this deck. And then the last card of Oracle, we have passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally, and having fun. And then it's right next to risk. So that's really, really interesting. Okay, so it's going to be giving us the why. Let's see specifically what your answer is though first before we see the why. Are you ready to receive this love? Pile number 3. As of right now, not yet, not really. You are still finalizing some truths inside of you that have yet to be fully downloaded in your being. I think that you're in the middle of like mourning something, grieving something, or just like processing something really hard and like heavy. And it's valid. This is a very valid time to be doing that right now, because from what I was picking up on earlier, like you have been carrying a lot and you shouldn't feel like you have to constantly be on survival mode. Like you deserve to have a breath of air and be in stillness every once in a while and feel safe in it when you want to. But at the same time, I feel like maybe there's been too much monotone energy in life that has affected you. And you have yet to fully speak that truth, honor that truth, own that truth in your being. And the truth is the thing that's going to set you free. So are you ready to receive it? Not yet, but you will. And let's see the why here now. For the first card we have here in the Before Tarot deck is the Five of Wands. Next up, we have the Two of Wands. And this is actually interesting how it has like a person watching them. Why do I keep thinking that there's still something here? There's still something in the picture that isn't fully settled or concluded or fully figured out. Like the rope hasn't been cut sort of thing. And then again, look, we have the Seven of Swords. Dude, like how many times did we get Seven of Swords energy? Deception, hiding, concealing, masked. I kid you not, pile number 3, we got the Seven of Swords coming up 3 times. So the number 777 may be of significance to you, and I highly recommend that you guys look up the numbers that I'm sharing with you at the end of this reading to write them down and see what the angel message is there for you.
But I do know that number 7 is about spiritual growth and patience and time. So time is like part of the answer here. The timing is not aligned just yet because you have not made your end of the bargain when it comes to showing source that you're ready to receive this love. That's really what's coming through. There's like some weird, it's not stalling, but you've been just trying to sort of like gaslight yourself in the past to like thinking that you're okay, but like you're not. And pile number 3, like your heart sees right through it, the BS. And the why behind this is clear. It's because you're still fighting yourself and you're still doubting, or you're still trying to sort of process your truth or filter through the logical brain and the emotional brain. Like there's reasoning, and then there's like where your heart's trying to guide you, and you're going a little bit crazy right now trying to figure that out. And it does feel like there's still someone here watching you go through this mentally, or you're distancing yourself right now. I don't know. It just feels like there are still some loose ends. There's still some skeletons in the closet that haven't been taken care of, or things just aren't being fully said that should be said to save something. Not to save, but to like save somebody else from getting hurt. Or let me see if I can get clarifiers here, and then we'll move in to a little bit more clarity here. So give me a clarifier card for the 5 of Wands here for pile number 3. Thank you. So we got the 2 of Cups. Give me a clarifier card for the 2 of Wands, please, for pile number 3. Okay. We got the Queen of Pentacles. Like you're realizing your worth, but it's weird like how you have to tiptoe around going through that integration process internally. And it's interesting how the snake is giving her the pentacle. There's a shedding, but integration process. And then clarify the 7 of Swords for me for pile number 3. Clarify the 7 of Swords for me. Thank you. Okay. On the back of the deck is the 7 of Wands. You're defending something, or you're hoping for it. 8 of Wands, 6 of Wands. You're hoping for something to like resolve on its own if like you keep doing something a certain way. So clarifying the why in terms of the not yet energy we received for you. Again, it's just it's confirming to me that vibe I'm getting with there's still some unfinished business when it comes to your love life department, pile number 3, that you still have yet to organize and sort through. And this is the thing that's stalling it. You're going to get it sorted through though soon. Okay, I want to make that clear. I felt that earlier, but this is giving us even further confirmation on that. But it has a lot to do with understanding your truth, or like realizing it, recognizing it. So the 7 of Swords is being clarified by the 7 of Wands paired up with the 6 of Cups. So this still feels like this is something of the past that's getting in the way of your ability to start this new adventure. You do crave freedom, and until you figure this out, that's not going to be able to come through. So now that we got your answer, let's keep going. Let's add even more layers to this, guys. So we're going to be using my shadow work deck and then these tea leaf cards to see if there's any like physical blockages aside from what we've already shared. You're fighting yourself on it, the gaslighting thing. There's a person that's definitely getting in the way, but I want to see what the deeper core wound is behind this blockage. So what is the core wound that's blocking pile number 3 from fully receiving this love that their heart truly wants for them? The love that's genuinely meant for them, aligned for them. Okay. That is way too much, but I do have some cards that want to come through. Okay, so we're going to get 3. I wasn't expecting that. Every pile has received just 1, but you guys got 3. So, first up, the wounds that could be blocking this and are blocking this. Love from coming your way. Neglect. Tend to your inner garden and it will flourish. And it says disregard, overlook, and forgetfulness. Attachment. True growth requires letting go. Clinging. Dependence and addiction. And betrayal, healing begins with acceptance and forgiveness. It says deception, again, 7 of Swords energy, deception, treachery, and backstabbing. Wow. Okay. I get why all those cards flew out. This is a call out. You have been avoiding it. You're not looking at your truth. You're like doing everything in your power to not feel. Now I get why you had so much sword energy, more than cups. You're fighting yourself. The why to the not yet and the blockage is really you doing this to yourself. And there is a lot of gaslighting going on. So I don't know if this is someone doing this to you that's making you start doubting yourself, or if this is you doing that to yourself, or maybe like a parent is like whispering things in your ear and telling you that you're doing this wrong. I don't know what it is. Pile number 3, but this is definitely something to keep in mind. And then for the physical blockages, on top of it, let's see the final things blocking you. So what is blocking pile number 3 from fully receiving the love? Okay, back of the deck energy is feather. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. Okay. And then I have one more set of tea leaves here. I'm going to just shuffle. What is blocking pile number 3 from fully receiving this love? And on the back of the deck for this one combined, we have ink pot, problems to be resolved. That's what keeps coming through. There's still some unfinished business here. And until that is taken care of, this will not be able to move forward. This energy, this manifestation, the thing you're trying to align with won't be able to come to you. Let me just get the cards that fell on the floor. There's 3 here. All right. So I'm going to actually read these together. Let's look at these 2 as separate messages. So this one landed right on top of the shadow wounds. Let's see. We have boot. Increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. Wow, that was a straight up call out, and that's right on top of attachment. And then you have fly. Wow. A period of ill health, depression. There is a cycle of self-sabotage that is doing you a complete disservice. Oh, my heart goes to you guys, because it really feels like you're not trying to do this to yourself. It's just, some of you guys really feel like you're unworthy. And now I get why that energy kept coming through earlier. Like there's this feeling of unworthiness, worthlessness, and it's so intense. It is so heavily ingrained into your being, my love. And I just want to give you guys such a big hug. Let us keep going. So that's adding the most emphasis is you and holding yourself back, fighting yourself. We had the 5 of Wands come out twice. So, you know, we also need to keep that in mind. So for the final thing of what's blocking you from fully receiving this love, we have grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling, coins, money will be coming to you, and then pale, time to get out of a situation. So by money, honestly, I feel like this is about more like clarity. Like when I look at these, I see like sun, but this can also be about like a legal situation. This could also be about an agreement, something that's trying to get resolved in your work stuff, because I did mention career earlier. But yeah, it's just a lot of like loose ends that have yet to get fully taken care of. That's like the big spotlight here that is coming through. So now let us see, what do you specifically have to do, pile number 3, to receive the love that you want, okay? And in order to do this, we're gonna be using my Star Tarot deck, my Heal Yourself Oracle deck, and my Sacred Soul Messages deck, okay? So just give me one moment to shuffle these and get all the cards out and ready so we can just dive right in, and I will meet you back here. Okay guys, so I am back and I got everything shuffled and ready so we can just dive right into this, okay? So you guys ended up getting, I think, 12 tarot cards in total here at the bottom. There was 16, sorry, in total. And this card actually landed sideways on its own, not including the 16 total number. And I felt called to make these be additional significator cards. So the way that we're laying this down is going to be, again, the overlying theme in reference to the specific action or thing you have to do in order to receive this love that you want, okay? So we're going to be doing it like this. And then we're going to lie
these 12 cards, there's going to be 6 cards per row. So first row is going to be giving us the main answer, and then the second row is going to give us the clarifiers to that first row, okay? So we're going to be doing that at the very end, but let us first look at this set of significator cards, and then we're going to look into the oracle, and then we'll unveil the tarot together, okay? But before we even go into that, I wanted to show you guys the back of the deck energies because they felt called to come out in this question. So for the tarot, you actually ended up receiving Judgment as your back of the deck energy. So right underneath it, I like to do this sometimes, we also have the World, and then we have Empress. So there is a big awakening coming through, and it is like this time in your life right now, regardless of when you're watching this, pile number 3, you were being prepared for it, and it was bound to happen, is what I'm hearing. Like, this was something that no matter how much you would have tried to fight it, it was going to happen eventually because your soul was not happy with where you were at. And so there is an ascension period, and things are going to start escalating very, very soon in the next couple of weeks. You're having this recognition now. Maybe this reading is helping you give even more confirmation to your intuition right now, because you've been having intuitive pings left and right that have been giving you weird nudges on these thoughts that you've been having that maybe you thought were actually intrusive at one point, but that's changing. So let us now, oh, and then this was the other ones I did forget to tell you. We also received Temptation. So it's like you are still fighting yourself. That 5 of Wands energy is still here. And then we also got Let Yourself Be Drawn by the Pull of What You Truly Love. Divine Purpose, Mission, and Life Being Guided. That's what I'm saying. You see how these 2 cards are very different energies? You're still in this middle of chaotic beauty. There's a beautiful chaos here. You're literally smack dab, eye in the storm right now, pile number 3, in the midst of transformation, because the lion and the deer. Now I get why this is your card. Okay, because you feel this weird push and pull dynamic on these 2 different sides of you, and you're teetering back and forth, debating on where to go. Okay, so next up, now that we were able to dive into that together, let us look at these significators. So first up, oh, and sideways cards, whenever they land sideways, that means that upright and reverse position are truth. They speak truth here, okay? So first up, we receive the Magician. How beautiful. You are the master manifester of your life. You literally have all the resources and tools inside you to get it solved. So you're awakening to that truth and your power and potential. Next up, we have the 8 of Pentacles. These pictures, though, like this deck is crazy beautiful in the symbolism. I love the symbolism in these pictures, guys. And then this card that landed sideways was the Prince of Wands. So they are known as the Page of Wands. And they landed sideways. Is it the Page of Wands? Yes, I think so. Okay. And let me check. I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, it is the Page. Okay. I was just trying to make sure that there's not, some decks say Princess. So I just got this deck recently. All right, so it's sideways. And then final 2 cards we have here. Let me try to pick them up. Is the 5 of Swords ending with the 8 of Swords. There is something that you got to rip off like a Band-Aid. Like, it's going to hurt, but okay, I get this now. Like, it really genuinely feels like half of you is in it, half of you is out, checked out. Checked in, checked out. And it's like the part of you that's checked in still is the part of you, what I mean by that is in the situation that you're in right now, pile number 3, that part of you is afraid of what's to come. I'm hearing like the repercussions and also just like what's next. Because there's also this weird fear that things are gonna be like following you as you move forward. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, they will if you let them. That's something that's like a really specific message that may or may not resonate with everybody, but I'm hearing those things are going to follow. The things that you're trying to take care of and handle, the loose ends, they are going to continue to follow you into your future until you stop them in their tracks. Pile number 3, okay? I want to make that very clear. It seems to me like there needs to be an expression of a truth. And that truth is going to keep creating chaos on the surface if it stays locked inside, deep down inside you. It needs to come out to rebalance the scales, I guess you can say, of
your inner world and outer world. There's like this weird pressure that's been brewing on your inner world that needs to like kind of let out steam right now. You know, like a pressure cooker. It needs that release. And if it doesn't get that, some crazy things are gonna happen. Like, I'm hearing that there are a lot of different ways that you can take care of this situation, but there is one way that's going to give you the better outcome, and that way is a way where you're more willing to show your entire truth and vulnerability, no matter if it hurts in that moment or not. Like, it's going to suck. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is going to be a moment in this experience that is gonna be difficult, pretty difficult, but it's gonna be a difficult period that is an ending, and then there's moving forward after that. It's not something that's gonna last forever. And like, the way you've been sitting in it has been weird. Like, you're really just like, your hand is over a button that says go, and it's like you keep staring at the clock. You're like, do I do it now? Do I do it then? And it's like you're so tempted to hit it, but it's like you don't know. And then you're not letting yourself be honest. I don't know. It's weird. It's crazy energy. So let me know in the comments, please. I need some clarity. I'm so curious to see your stories, guys. Let me know if you picked pile number 3. But let us keep going with the first card that came out. Is sing like the birds, not worrying about what others think. Be yourself. Share your heart. Speak your truth. Interesting. Pile number 2 also received this card. And then for your Heal Yourself card, you guys received love with the number 28. Adding to 10. So there's like a completion here with love, but there's also a settling of like, I am finally going to start loving myself and putting myself first. Like, there's this weird like ending and beginning energy when I look at this card. And then the next one says, the wound is the place where the light enters. Healing, blessings, strength to carry on. And then for the last card, oh, it's upside down. It says home with the number 35. But it was in reverse. So again, you have to be like brutally honest with yourself. That's just what keeps coming through. Like, I don't know if you just have trouble knowing or believing that what you want or what you feel is best for you is best for you. Like, I don't know if you doubt that about yourself. Like, I don't know if you have been literally brainwashed into thinking that you don't know what's best for you, even though like it's your life, your heart, your body, your mind, your soul, your gut, your intuition. So it's very interesting. This pile has been the most complex reading I've done so far for this topic. So let us keep going. For the main answer for the tarot, first card we have here is strength. So strength has came out a couple of times, like the energy of it, having the courage, and then the lion depiction has also come out again. And I just realized, oh my goodness, guys, this is a waxing moon. Confirmation, pile number 3, waxing moon. This is a waxing moon. How do I know it is a waxing moon? Because I have a moon phases sign on my side. Waxing moon. Waxing moon. And you had waxing moon making progress. We are going to take that card out now for you guys to keep looking at it for your reminder right here. So we have strength, Knight of Pentacles. I don't know why Source is going to make me start doing things weird. So they're making me lay down the clarifier with each set, each pair. Like, they're making me do the pairs like this. I normally lay them across, but I guess Source wants me to just lay them all down. Or there's like a lot of messages coming through that we're going to dive into. So the Knight of Pentacles is clarifying the strength. Again, so we got 2 pairs. You see this, how it's coming out? We have the Ace of Cups clarified by the Hierophant. So you guys can see the images. The 3 of Cups clarified by the High Priestess.
The Knight of Swords clarified by the Five of Pentacles. Okay, another Knight. And the Knight of Wands clarified by the Queen of Swords. I love this. The same message just keeps coming through. And I don't know if you remember, guys, in the Transparent Tarot, you guys also received 2 Knights in a row as well. And then for the last pairing, we have the Moon with the Wheel of Fortune. So the Moon is clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. The Moon keeps coming through so many times. So, oops, I hit the camera, I'm sorry. The moon might have like an importance here. Like maybe there's an important moon thing coming up for you guys whenever you're watching this, like a new moon, super moon, full moon, some sort of moon. Maybe the moon phase while you're watching this video has significance, so look into that. Very curious. Okay, so you really have the power to shift your entire reality, pile number 3, if you're willing to take the steps necessary to do that. Your love life has that much power to like change your reality that much. It's crazy. And what you have to specifically do to receive the love you want, it doesn't get it any more clearer and specific than this when it comes to telling your truth. Whether it's gonna be hard or not, you gotta do it, because that's really the only way. You really do have all the resources you need to get this handled and taken care of. And I know there's a lot of fears that could be holding you back at this time, but you're gonna figure it out. Like, you're very good at figuring things out. I don't know why you're still so hard on yourself, because what I'm picturing, or who I'm picturing, the energy I'm picturing when it comes to this pile, like, you guys know your stuff. You're really good at picking things up if you need to, like, quickly. Like, I can't snap because of my freaking stitches. Ow. I could do it on this finger. You know how to like adapt if you need to. You can pick up on things quickly if you need to, if it's something that is important for you and important for your outcome or something, and you're gonna be able to handle it. Right now, what you need to do to start preparing to receive it is to mentally prepare yourself to start taking the steps that you know you need to do. And it has a lot to do with saying your truth, speaking it loudly, and doing it regardless of the repercussions that come your way. There's this energy of Phoenix rising from the ashes sort of energy, because you really felt like you've been held back for far too long. And once you finally embrace the unknown and what it has to offer you, your destiny is going to start changing like that. Because your destiny was taking you somewhere heavier, but if you finally listen to where your intuition's been trying to guide you, there's this connection, there's something here that really cares and you care about. It's like you gotta start letting yourself want it. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you've been really heavily fighting on it, and there's a reason why it came. There's a reason why it's so strong. But in order to take that call, you need to be honest with yourself and honest with the people in the world around you, and whatever way that means to you, because it does seem like the way that you guys are all going to go about this action is going to be very like specific and different and tailored to like each of your situations. So it's like I can't give you guys a very, very specific thing. Even when I tried, you guys can see I kept getting that same flipping message. It's just keep moving forward regardless of the repercussions of you saying your truth, and moving forward anyways, regardless of what comes through. You know, at the end of the day, the only things that are going to whisper in the background is the anxiety, the fear-based thoughts, and they're just the what ifs, you know what I mean? And we can't read the future as much as we want to, but the one thing you can do is be true to yourself every step of the way. That way, regardless of what happens, you will never, ever, ever regret it. So if you have to, I think I've said this on my channel before, but whenever you're in a situation where you have to decide between the head and the heart, always go with the heart. Always choose the heart. At least that way you will never regret what you did, and you'll never regret living authentically. And this is something huge that I think you're learning. In the next coming weeks, this is going to be the key to your success, to receiving the love that you want and deeply desire, my love. So let us now finish up your reading by getting some final messages from Source. And I already got the cards nice and set up for you. So the way that we're going to be doing this, I actually ended up giving you guys some additional, you guys got actually the most practical tips and tricks to aid you in receiving the love you want. These are 4 different coping skills and exercises for stress and anxiety relief to help you build resilience in your life.
So I asked Source when I shuffled this deck, I was like, what cards are meant for pile number 3 to aid them in receiving the love they want? So these are going to be the exercises and practices you guys received. And then you also received 2 self-discovery questions or prompts, like questions to kind of reflect on and journal about in your own timing, okay? So when I reveal these cards, I do highly recommend that you guys pause the video, screenshot it if you can, or just jot down like the notes. I'm going to read them out loud as well if you guys like are using the transcript or the captions to interpret this reading for you guys. So I'm going to try to make sure everyone is able to get access to this stuff that comes through in these cards today. And then these are going to be, these 2 cards are the final messages from Source. And then to wrap it up and end your reading, we're going to be reading the animal medicine that came through for you that you're meant to carry on your way forward after this reading is complete. And we're going to be reading the meaning of that medicine in the booklet that came along with the card. Okay, my love? So to do this, the first thing we're going to do is look at the final messages from Source, and then we're going to dive right into the exercises and then the medicine. Okay, guys? So for the final messages you have to walk away from this reading with is release the past, letting go, healing, renewal, and growth. So maybe there's like a closure thing that you need to share. But I'm not going to explain these because I want this to be like however your brain interprets these final messages is the way that they're meant to be delivered to you. Does that make sense? And then lastly, trust in the universe, faith, surrender, divine timing. And for your multitude and big variety of exercises, my love, for the first one we have, I dissent. Fight for the things that you care about in a way that will lead others to join you. When you feel wronged, attack the issue, not the person. Present the facts, not the blame. Enduring change happens one step at a time. Next up. Name it to tame it. We can see a difficult situation as either a challenge and feel daringly excited, or a threat and feel utterly helpless. Name your source or sources of threat. Instead of running away, how can you approach it as a challenge? Next up. Celebrate imperfection. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is famous for its unstable foundation. What is a quirk that you can learn to appreciate in someone? Pick a personal struggle or flaw and turn it into something that spreads inspiration. And then for the final exercise, before we get into the self-discovery prompts or questions, 3 good things. Write down 3 things that went well during the past week. Describe what you and others did and said and how you have felt. Why did they happen? What role or roles did you play? How can you attract more good things? And for the questions, we have one in the consultation category. How would your future self evaluate current choices? How would your future self evaluate current choices? And then for the final one, the life category. What constructive self-dialogue occurred recently? What constructive self-dialogue occurred recently? And now, my beautiful souls, to wrap up your reading, let us now see the animal medicine that you are meant to carry its energy forward after this reading is completed, and I guess maybe for the next coming weeks. For your animal medicine, I can't talk, I'm sorry. You have received Coyote with the number 13. So let us get the booklet and we are going to see what Coyote is all about. And I feel like I've gotten this medicine card so many times in my readings before. So if you feel like you have been here before, like you've gotten readings from me before, like the pick of cards, and you keep getting this animal medicine, that could also be an additional confirmation that this pile is for you. But let us read. Coyote, you devil, you tricked me once more. It's Seven of Swords energy. Must I sit and ponder what you did it for? The trickster. There are thousands of myths and stories about Coyote, the great trickster. Many native cultures call Coyote the medicine dog. If you've pulled this card, you can be sure that some kind of medicine is on its way, and it may or may not be to your liking. Whatever the medicine is, good or bad, you can be sure it will make you laugh, maybe even painfully. You can be sure that Coyote will teach you a lesson about yourself. Coyote has many magical powers, but they do not always work in his favor. His own trickery fools him. He is the master trickster who tricks himself. No one is more astonished than Coyote at the outcome of his own tricks. He falls into his own trap, and yet he somehow manages to survive. He may be banged and bruised by the experience, but he soon goes on his way to even greater error, forgetting to learn from his mistakes. He may have lost the battle, but he is never beaten. Coyote is sacred. In the folly of his acts, we see our own foolishness. As Coyote moves from one disaster to the next, he refines the art of self-sabotage to sheer perfection. No one can blindly do themselves or others with more grace and ease than this holy trickster. Coyote takes himself so seriously at times that he can't see the obvious, for example. The stream roller that is about to run over him. That is why, when it hits him, he still can't believe it. Was that really a stream roller? I better go look, he says, and he is run over once more. Contained within trickster medicine is the humor of the ages. The cosmic joke is not just on ourselves, but on everyone else, if they are following Coyote or have strong Coyote medicine. Someone like this may be able to convince others that a skunk smells like roses, but the fact remains that it is still a skunk. Snooze time is over if you have pulled the Coyote medicine card. Watch out, your glass house may crash to the ground at any moment. All your self-mirrors may shatter. The divine trickster is dogging you. I don't even know what that means. Coyote scratches under his arm. He does a crazy dance. He catches his tail on fire playing with matches. He jumps in the fish pond to save himself and nearly drowns. Coyote thinks he has found a bone, but it's a rattlesnake. Everyone watches the comedic scene. Coyote is you, me, booby traps, jet airplanes with toilets that don't work, blind dates, and all the humorous and whimsical things we encounter along life's way. Get ready for more of the laughs, lots more. Go immediately beneath the surface of your experiences. Ask yourself, what are you really doing and why? Is Coyote your medicine? Are you playing jokes on yourself? Are you trying to fool an adversary? Is someone tricking you? Do you want to give the office geek the phone number of the beautiful new secretary? Or do you want to pull a prank on your best friend? When was the last time you did something just because it was crazy and fun? On the other hand, you may not be conscious of your own pathway of foolishness. You may have conned yourself, your family, your friends, or even the public at large into believing that you know what you are doing. But listen, Coyote, you are balled up in your own machinations. I don't know if I'm saying this right. You have created a befuddling, bewildering, confounding trick. Pick up the juggler eyes from the ground and put them back in their sockets. See through the genius of your acts of self-sabotage. Find it amusing and laugh, trickster, laugh. If you can't laugh at yourself and your crazy antics, you have lost the game. Coyote always comes calling when things get too serious. The medicine is in laughter and joking so that new viewpoints may be assumed. If you have Coyote medicine, you may use it to make stuffy old foggies lighten up, to add cheer to a party, or to break a death grip conversation with ease. Look at the positive side of sabotaging nosy questions about your personal life. Have fun telling some gossiper that you just returned from St. Tropez and your new Learjet. So, oh my gosh, that was a mouthful. With Coyote medicine, it seems to me like you're just being called to just be honest, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna seem like you're in a shitty situation, excuse my potty mouth, but it is what it is what I'm hearing from this card. And that's exactly the energy you're meant to carry as you move forward to do the steps that you have to take to get this love that you want, okay? Palette number 3. So, with that being said, I really, really hope that this reading did resonate with you. From the bottom of my heart, it means so much to me that you guys chose this reading
and for me to be the one to deliver this message for you. So thank you so much for that. And it would also mean so much to me if you could please give this reading a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, if you are feeling called to want to join a community of like-minded people that are here to help continue to level up and become the most healed versions of themselves, okay? With that being said, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you in my next readings to come.